Hey everybody, guess what? We are back. This is African Frame Podcast, and I'm with Rob Sibeko, with Buckmeister Cool, and I am Mr. Extraordin. Now, we actually have a new name for the show, and it's going to be called the crossover event. This is basically when everybody else joins us for our pod, but this is going to be on the Cinema Soda YouTube channel. So yeah, do like, subscribe, follow, and all of that. Anyway, we're gonna be doing Fantastic Four First Steps that came out this year, starring Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Ebon Moss. Bark Rock. This movie has had a budget of plus 200 million, and it made 521.9 million at the box office. It has mixed reviews. Not a lot of people were enthusiastic about it when they were giving their reviews. And we will give you our take on what we thought of the movie. It's already out on Disney Plus. It actually came out not so long after it was circulating in the theaters, which is a big problem that we have mentioned in the past. But to cut the long story short, uh, this is, I believe, the first MCU movie that we're doing this year out of seven up, if I'm not mistaken. This is the first review. But anyway, on the panel, as I've mentioned before, we have Buckmeister. He has two channels, by the way, Buckmeister Reacts and Meister Geek Media. You can check those two channels out. He does speak to people in nerd culture, and he does react to a couple of things that we find interesting. Also, Rick has T'Challa campaign. We do hear that there's a rumor that who's this guy again? What's his name?
Damson Idris.
Damson Idris might be T'Challa, but we're not sure yet. Anyway, he does have a fan comic that you can check out on Tappers called Black Panther versus King. And we have Rob, who is still pushing his books out that are out. Jin's War and why am I forgetting the other one?
Painful. That hurts.
Mhm.
Um,
What is it?
yes, heist.
Heist. No,
Heist.
I'm thinking about other things here. Sorry. I'm thinking about
Yeah,
Bludgeon
better
Ball.
books. I understand.
No, I'm thinking about Bludgeon Ball. So I don't know if that is on sale, but yeah.
Yeah, it is on sale, but yeah,
Yeah,
that counts. Yeah.
Bludgeon Ball as well. Because
Think
I
about
have a
better
hard
authors.
copy. I have a hard copy of Bludgeon Ball. Anyway, so
Untouched.
Rob, you can lead us in. Let's get
All
started.
right. Cool. Cool. Well, let us start. Okay, so I'm just gonna run through everything and then we'll just kind of come in. Cool. So anyway, the
Ooh.
first minute starts quickly with the pregnancy reveal. We are moving fast. It's like a few lines of dialogue. We see we see them talking. Um, we kind of get like a little bit of a dynamic, not really. And then boom, we
Okay, can
get
I just go
our
through my first note? I just want to say they need
okay,
to retitle
proceed.
this movie. I just think they need to
Mhm.
retitle this movie Fantastic Four Fast Forward because you're. But anyway, continue.
Yes.
So that's like what
We go straight.
quadruple F.
Yes. And I'm sure Fast and the Furious will sue though. But we go directly into the thing. We on a quick hit onto a visual history. No text scroll, straight to exposition. Um,
Which is different
Speaking
from
of text
what
scroll, that means a
James
little
Gunn
shot at
did, by the way.
Superman.
Yeah, which
Superman.
is different from what James Gunn did
Yep.
with Superman. Yeah, no text. We're
Yeah,
just gonna show you.
objectively better.
Yeah,
Out here playing with the word.
Equally
Um,
as infuriating, but anyway. Um
but anyway, you see the little fast forwards, and at first you're like, okay, but wait, they didn't go up with Victor Von Doom. What is going on? Which was kind of very shocking to me. But then you see a little Latvia gap in one of the UN meetings, and you're like, oh, okay. I guess that's a little game they're playing. And then yeah, and in my opinion, and then it gets done, and kind of now the story starts to flow. Now that it's like a little 10-minute thing, and now the story starts to flow. In my opinion, Mr. Fantastic doesn't he seem like those like old school TV show dads who seems dumb and bumbling, all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of
Mm.
oblivious. It feels like we're going back in time when it comes to that. With
Really?
that style of dad anyway. But anyway, I don't know, that's what it felt like to me. Like King of Queens type stuff, you know what I mean?
Really?
That
Which
kind
is
of
not
dad.
Reed Richards to me at
You know what
all.
I mean?
I can
Exactly.
see what Rob is saying.
Mm,
Yeah, the problem is that the way they're trying to this is gonna be a weird thing to say. Pedro
mm.
Pascal, there he's too is cool the word or nonchalant the word or
He was just
Maybe
miscast,
like
man.
he,
nonchalant.
He was just miscast.
he's
I've said this from the
like
beginning.
like he's not
Yeah.
like his performance here, it's not like read in the way that he operates, right? Okay, so I mean, depending on what you read, he has like some flavor of
Mm,
the tisms or something.
mm,
But like
mm.
what this the way he kind of functions is that he would be like finicky. He's kind of like a kid on ADHD where he's always tinkering with
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And here they've not done that. They gave us a smart sitcom dad, and I'm like, that's not Reed Richards. He can be that way,
Exactly.
yes. He can be that way, yes,
Hmm.
but it's not his default. Reed has to work
Yeah.
at being that. It's not his default.
Exactly. Exactly. And
But anyway,
ironically, it made him come off bumbling, in my opinion. I got a little bit frustrated. It's like, oh, I can't find the iodine. I can't find. It's like, oh my gosh. And then when
like
they
Reed
see
in the
him, they're
comic
like,
books would know where the iodine is, and he'd be reading off the contents of the iodine without even looking at the label.
exactly. And then they're like, oh, I knew they were pregnant because we saw Reed's confused face. So we're like, okay, you must be pregnant. It's like, oh, okay. This doesn't feel like something you'd say about Reed, but okay, fair enough.
Not just
This is
read. This
clearly a
is not
new Reed.
something you say about anything ever. Like you could have said you guys had sex. You could have said, did you
Yeah,
guys something, but pregnant? No ways, bro.
yeah, yeah.
That like
That's not
pregnancy
something
is
I
something that
guess.
doesn't just happen on a Tuesday. I can't be reading Reed's face and thinking it's pregnant, like they're pregnant. Like, no. I'd be
Exactly.
thinking, like, what's going on? Are you guys fine?
No,
Something.
but
Yeah.
here's the other thing again. Just yo already now. You don't want to take these characters through an arc for where they're ready to start a
Mm,
family. You just want to okay.
exactly. Yeah,
Anyway,
there was no setup. We went straight to business, and you'll see this is gonna end up being relevant later on. Um, but yeah, we're done with the setup phase. We've seen their power. So anyway, the setup does a lot of things. It shows us their powers, number one. It shows us the relationship they have with the planet itself, which is a much better job than Superman. I think we can all agree on that one. Um, Even if you disliked both movies, I think you can agree that I think the setup
yeah,
here,
okay. The show and the not telling, I guess, is better.
yes, exactly. We're not that we're saying this is a masterpiece at all, but in terms because remember these are like two movies
Oh,
that came out at the same time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm holding off on my notes. It's fine.
Yes. But yes, so we get a setup of everything is, we get their relationship, they're like, oh, I'm pregnant, etc. And then we kind of get to see Reed freaking out and getting to stick. Then they have to explain it to the people as well. And we kind of get this fantastic, and if you look at everything, right, there's this beautiful use of color. They've gone for like a pale pastel kind of vibe to it. And the colors are very sharp and they're very split. It's
Yes.
very singular in its
Well,
style. Like you'll
wait,
see one side of Reed.
okay. I'm trying to
Mhm.
understand what you're referring to
Yeah, we'll
because
say.
when you look at the props are very bright.
Mhm.
The props are
Yes,
very bright.
that's what I mean. But they're like
There's a lot of
yeah, but they're
orange and
soft
blue.
colors.
But like the
Yeah.
world doesn't really feel lived in. It feels like everything revolves around the Fantastic Four, like everything. And I'm just like, people don't go to
Hmm.
work.
Why when Reed is making flying cars for you, dude? It feels see like that's a plot
He's
point. Like,
making flying cars for his people, not for you. You still have to drive in traffic. But anyway,
Do
but
you
anyway,
think
actually, like
do you think it's
that's
slightly
another thing. But
inspired by the Jetsons? Do you remember the Jetsons?
yes, goes without
yeah,
saying.
but like the problem is that you can't jetson and then everybody else is just regular.
Yeah,
It
everyone else is the
like and then
Flintstones.
also like the regular people themselves are obsessed with how Jetson you are. Like that's to
Mm,
me, it's too much. But anyway,
Mhm.
mm. I hear what you're saying. But anyway, what I was saying about the color and the cinematography is like, let me give you an example. Remember, a lot of stores, a lot of movies will try and do dark colors, dark red, but now they're like a pale blue. The original
Yeah,
uniform is pale blue. The
yeah,
dark blue only shows up later on in the movie. And if
right.
you look at his lab, you'll see it's split into two colors. One side is blue, one side is red, and it's not even like a dark red. So like that's a unique thing. I'm trying to make it stand out.
I
But
see
I
what
feel
you're
like there's no
saying.
actual depth. Like,
I see what you're saying because
mm,
if you
but
remember back in the day, specifically the 70s, not so much the 60s, but
mm,
I could be wrong about my timeline.
mm,
Even back in the day, that's how they used to do movies, and that's how they used to take photos.
mm,
They used to give you that sort of
yeah,
grungy type of look, but at the same time they would use these kind of colors
mm,
that you're talking, soft with a bit of brightness. Sometimes
yeah,
monotone colors or monochromatic colors. Sometimes like they would use an
yeah,
orange and a mustard, or they would use a
mm,
blue and a sea blue type of thing, just so that
exactly.
yeah. So I hear what you're saying. I
Yeah.
hear what you're saying.
But I feel like they didn't go deeper though, because like normally what a person would do in this kind of thing is you make it metaphorical. Okay, if something sciencey is happening, okay, then you use red. If something so and so is happening, you use blue. But I think they were just trying to make the colors that pop. They weren't trying to do anything like deep, but it's fine. It's a superhero movie. I guess we're not allowed to expect anything more, so it's fine. Um, but anyway, anything else you guys want to talk about in terms of like the first 20 minutes? Because then that's
uh,
when we.
well, I mean, I already
Mhm.
said it, and then also I
Yeah.
just in the montage, just wasting villains left and right. By the way, yo,
Yeah, the monkey
just
is the
wasting
monkey villain important.
The
storylines.
orangutan.
No, no, the red ghost actually is because he was originally a Russian spy that they experimented on, and he
Oh,
was
is
away
it?
that and that was like feeding into the paranoia at the time. So
Wasn't
basically,
that
he was like
wasn't that the
trying to
character that
spy on the.
Oh,
wasn't that the character that John Malkovich was supposed to play before he
Yeah,
pulled out?
and we didn't even see him. We just see the henchman. Okay, fine. They just mention other villains, by the way. The Mad
mm,
Thinker, he doesn't even show up. He's just a, and your mole man. What your? That's not a mole man. That's a dude who lives in his mother's basement and sells cars on the weekend. That is not the mole man.
is it
Yo,
more like The Incredibles, or is that
no,
Mold
he's
Man
not
better?
even. No, don't do the underminer. Don't do the underminer like
No,
that.
but I
We have to give
mean,
the underminer respect. That
Underminer is a parody of the Mole Man. I mean, we
But
all
he's
know.
more mole man than this dude.
No,
This
no,
dude
I
doesn't even
know.
live in a cave.
I'm just
He lives in
saying,
a house.
why are we
That set was
referring?
clean.
Why are we referring the parody as if it's, you know what I mean? As if it's more original than this, even though they took the whole.
God,
Hey,
yo.
Scree-
I'm just saying
look
the
at
only
Scream.
thing that's mole man about him is his glasses, and they're not even dirty. They didn't even make his face
Mm,
like a mole man face. He talks like
yeah,
a
with like the buck teeth.
businessman. He talks like a
Hmm.
very, very like a businessman whose business is failing. But anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah, that yep. And you can see they leveled up Sue as well. I thought that was interesting actually. No complaints here about it. It's so she's a diplomat now. I'm like, oh, okay, that's
But
interesting.
how?
So
Well, they were trying to. I think they were trying to make it.
Logistically, it doesn't make
They're
sense.
trying
Like
to make it.
logistically,
They're trying to make it
like,
like a
do you
jingle.
run for office? Like, when did you get elected? How are you addressing the
yeah,
UN?
did Reagan hire you?
Yes,
Is it
who like
Kennedy or Reagan?
how is this working?
And
Like they're just the
wasn't like the
spokespeople for
60s,
everything.
wasn't the 60s still a bit misogynistic? But anyway, I'm trying to say that
No, I'm alternate universe version of the
Yes,
60s
I was
because
gonna say.
otherwise black people would be getting beat up left and right. But what I'm trying to say is how is Sue in political office and she's addressing the United Nations, by the way, by
no,
Yeah.
herself?
what I'm trying to say is they purposely tried to make sure that Sue is not a damsel in distress. If you remember when this thing started initially, Sue was sort of like the damsel in distress. That's how they used to write these comics back in the day, right? But then
What Jessica Alba?
as time went by, obviously she got character growth and all of that. And so I think what they're
Hmm.
trying to do is we're gonna establish from the beginning that this person is not just a pretty face. It's not that she's just invisible or has force field. We need to make sure that she's also very smart in her own right. So I feel like they took Storm and Jean Grey and a bit of Emma Frost and just meshed all those personalities together and tried to.
No, but you
No,
see, I
the
know what you're
personality.
saying.
I think the personality is not the problem. Again, if you go back and you read some of those comic books, which I was doing, what they would do is they would stand her back for a bit, but then she would come in clutch to solve a lot of situations. Like there was one
Mm,
time where the Fantastic Four almost lost oxygen or whatever because they were trapped. I think it was by Doom or something. Yeah, Doom basically trapped them in a room where they were losing oxygen, and because Sue Storm was smart enough to give herself up in the beginning to Doctor Doom and let herself be held hostage, she escaped later, turned invisible, saved everybody, and then they gang beat Doctor Doom. but um, my thing is that I don't think the political angle is too much. If she was the spokesperson for the Fantastic Four and she was like running the conferences and she was like, like the media personality of the Fantastic Four, making sure that they don't say anything stupid, that to
mm.
me makes a whole lot more sense than she must address the entire United Nations
But isn't that
and
what the
people
Black
must
Lady is
clap at her
for?
speeches.
Isn't that what the Black Lady is for?
But I'm just saying, her like they're not treating them like celebrities. They're treating them like politicians. And I'm like, this doesn't line up. Also, they weren't famous before they went to space. But anyway, that's a nitpick, I guess.
Well, I think they're
Um,
adding. I think that one's an addition. But in my opinion, I think what you're stuck with is see, so ironically, what you're saying is 100% right, but it's also the problem because
Yeah,
what you end up doing, right, is you end up because remember something, Sue's already a scientist. Why do you think she got up to space? This isn't Katy Perry. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? That little spacecraft thing they did.
yeah,
No, she's already a scientist. You don't have to do this.
right.
What it is I'm gonna actually explain this later. It's actually I call it the Stranger Things. No, this one is more of like okay, look, let me just say this is like the Princess Leia problem, right? Because you're trying to make people come off as stronger. What you end up doing is making it weird because, like, okay, Princess Leia was royalty. That's a higher thing than a general. General's a downgrade.
Yeah,
What do you mean? Why
right,
are you calling a general Organa instead of Prince, like Queen? Why? Do you know what I mean?
right.
You end up, you think you're helping, but you're not, and it ends up distracting from the point because,
I
again,
think
she is one of the team leaders.
it's
But anyway, it's
it's
not that
it's
big a deal.
it's that thing that writers do when they think we're not
Mm,
smart enough to understand
mm,
certain things. So they try to dumb it down, but they end up
yeah,
making the situation worse because you're not writing to 6-year-olds. So
exactly.
that's the problem.
Exactly. But then again, it's not a huge deal, but it's annoying, especially later on, but we'll get into that. So yeah, anyway, we get a lot of setup, right? For the first 20 minutes, it's raw setup. Every word that's being used is being set up to set up the relationship inside the house, relationship to the planet, their superpowers. It's all being set up for the first solid 20 minutes. And yeah, and what's so fun is it's done. This is ironically, despite the amount of time being spent, I would actually say it's actually being done very quickly because um they're trying to get a lot of things done, and you'd almost think the pacing is fast. But I have one major complaint about this, and that's is it me or even though everything is happening fast, everything feels like it's been powdered with Xanax. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
everyone is talking soft and talking slow, and it's like it feels frustrating. It feels, you know what it feels like to me?
Mhm.
It feels like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Do you know what I
this
mean?
one, yeah.
Because
Hmm.
remember in M. Night Shyamalan movies, everyone talks slowly, um, because that's kind of his style. Is that it? Because he goes for like the slow paced style, so all the characters will talk slowly and kind of like this limited voice. And it makes sense in his like horror movies, but then he tried to do Avatar, and because he did Avatar, they did the slow talking there, and everyone's like, "What is happening right now?" Do you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
Mm, mm.
So I feel like that's something that the director screwed up, and it annoys me, and it's gonna get worse as we go on. Um, but anyway, before anyone gets the wrong idea, I do actually like this movie. I just think I just love the fact that it's moving really fast. So there's something that me and Kutso, this is a shout out to all our older episodes, guys, please. Um, I think Citizen Kane would be a good example. Some of the what is the one? The movie with John Travolta that we did, Kutso?
Basic.
No, the other one, the old school one.
Or Blowout.
No, Blowout. Yes. So there's something that a lot of these movies would do in the past is that's why I got the catchphrase. This movie's late for a meeting. Is
Yeah.
that what they'll do is when they're trying to get a lot of information out, they'll
Uh-huh.
do certain things to like speed things up before the story kicks off, and that kind of gives me that vibe with this. So
Mm.
it gives me a very old school filmmaking vibe, and I think it's a good thing because what it is it shows that the movie's got a lot to say and very little time to say it. And it's trying to, but the thing is, what this movie kind of doesn't get right is that the trick about those kinds of movies, right, is that they'll multitask. Die Hard 1 is a good example of multitasking, where one scene where you'll see the guy talking to his wife, he's upset with his wife, and he's taking his shoes off and that ends up being a setup for bigger things. This movie tries to do the same thing, but doesn't really multitask in the same way. In
Mhm.
fact, what this movie does, it does something very similar to a movie we discussed also called District 9, where it takes a lot of small scenes and uses a lot of locations and repeats some of the locations, but it's okay because it uses a lot of locations, so it feels varied and it creates a sense of movement. You can't say this movie doesn't feel like it's moving, even though the actors are talking slow like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. You can still feel a sense of movement. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but so the pacing feels okay, but the performances to me frustrate me. And that for me feels like a
I don't
director
know.
issue.
I think the pacing is a problem for me because I'm just like too much is happening, and I'm like, we're not sitting down with these characters at all. Like,
Mm,
like
mm,
I mean, when we in the montage right in the beginning, there's
mm,
just and also another thing that I don't like about this movie is I don't think it gets the Fantastic Four. Like it's making the same mistakes that the
mm.
previous ones have made. Because, for example, right, with the changes in characters, why is Johnny afraid to introduce himself to women? This
Yes.
doesn't make any freaking sense. Why is Sue Storm telling everybody, hey, my brother is single? Johnny would be flashing his dick at the camera saying, ladies, come get some of this. Why is he in the corner like a little weird nerd kid? What's
I
happening?
know. I know. They've reversed his character completely. And
You don't think that
they've
was
toned it
deliberate?
down. Oh
You
no,
don't
it's
think?
absolutely deliberate. But the
Yeah,
thing
It's
is,
because
so deliberate, but it
that's
just it makes him a block of wood.
that's the thing
It
about
makes him
the thing
yo.
about Hollywood is they always try to make sure that the actor does not seem like a copycat of the previous actor that played that role, right? So they would try to either outdo the previous actor or they would dumb down the character so that he doesn't seem like a copycat of the previous actor. So obviously they knew that people were going to compare this version to Chris Evans's character. Not so much Michael B. Jordan because there was not a character there at all. But so so they were not trying to make him the ladies' man because I've already seen that. I'm just thinking the way, these movies that we normally see usually do, if that makes any sense.
yeah,
God
I'll give you an
damn it.
example.
makes
I'll give you an
sense.
example. When you watch The Amazing Spider-Man, you could clearly see that the writers were trying to make sure that Andrew Garfield is a lot funnier and more fun than
Mm,
Tobey Maguire. You get what I'm saying?
yes.
So you could tell
Now
that
we get
this
it.
was deliberate, and sometimes it feels
Mm,
overdone. So I think that's what they were doing, but I
no,
could be wrong.
definitely. I agree with that. No, audience so. But that's the problem with that. It's not about the actor. It's about the role. You have to fulfill the role. You don't get to undo what 50 years of Johnny because you want to be different. You don't get to do
I
that.
mean, even with the way that they're depicting Sue, I think what's this like I don't know, making them all like I'll say this. They didn't make her like read smart in the movie, which is something I appreciated.
Mm,
Because I think something that they're doing in the comics books right now is they're trying to lean into because in alternate universes she was more of a scientist, but in the 616, she was actually more of a sportswoman. Like she was actually
mm,
more running track and field, and that's why her and Reed used to butt heads because there'd be times where she's like, "Reed, come get this," and Reed is trying to split an atom, and she's just like, "Really? Can you do something else, Reed? Can you leave the lab? Can we actually be
mm,
people?" Like she's the one
mm,
that humanizes Reed and takes him away from the science. And like and also on top of that, she does like kind of run I wouldn't say PR, but she is kind of like the PR department of the Fantastic Four, where like she's the one who interfaces with the public from the stuff that
Yeah,
I read. So
which makes sense.
I will say that they did do some of that here, which I guess is appreciated. But at the same time, I just think that the way that they run the dynamics, it kind of feels like it kind of feels like they sapped a lot of personality from Johnny to give it to Sue. And I'm like, I don't know why you guys did that. Because I'll
Yeah,
say
and
this,
I honest,
the guy that they got, Eddie Munn, I think his name is Eddie. He was in Stranger Things. I'm not sure what his name. I'm not sure what the name of the actor is right now. I'm blanking. But I'm saying
mm,
in Stranger Things, he had personality. He was somebody. So I don't know why they made him virtually nobody in this.
no, definitely understand. And the thing is, it's a good slot to fill in because what happens is when you take Johnny's highness, so he's too much, right, for the general population. Then you have Sue, who's like perfect, who fills a gap. Because Ben is obviously reclused, because of everything
Mm.
that's happened to him. Reed is obviously on his own wavelength. Johnny is too much, and then she's perfect. So there's a slot for her, and it makes sense for her character to be like that, to be the voice of of everyone. You know what I mean? It fits perfectly. It's
Mm.
just, yeah, I just think it does actually make its own level of sense. It's just, it feels like they didn't have to sacrifice Johnny because they could have kept Johnny the way he was and it still would have made sense. And
Mm.
also would have explained. And if you think about the way they treat Johnny, you would think he is like that because they're like, oh, leave the space girl alone. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, but this is a different Johnny. So now what you're saying makes less sense.
I don't want to sound like a
But
dick, but it seems like they just wanted to make Sue shine throughout this
oh
movie.
yeah,
Oh no, no,
oh
no,
yeah,
no, 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 no. There's a sequence that if we get to it, and there's a sequence where I'm just like, oh, okay, cause how? But
So it
anyway,
just seems like they were trying too
yeah. No,
hard
we're
to
gonna
make
get
Sue
to it.
shine more than anybody.
but
Yeah.
let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing.
Okay, let's keep it pushing. Okay, so basically, what happens next? I'm gonna basically be doing a more of an overall of this thing. We're not. I don't want to do the two parts. I think we don't have to with this movie. So when we meet our Ozark lady, she comes down from space, um, and she's like, "I
She
herald the so and so."
bites Noran Rad's whole flow. He's on Sway right now. Oh, not Sway. He's on. He's talking to Charlemagne right now. Charla
Mm-hmm.
Ball stole
Bar for
word
bar.
for word, bar for your.
Yeah, it's oh my God, it was something interesting. I don't know how you guys feel about the CGI. I guess I thought I would
It's
hate it
fine,
more,
but the
but it's yeah,
2007 is better. It's fine, but
in
the
my opinion,
2007 is
yes.
better.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I still think,
100% agreed.
yeah, because I mean, this was Lawrence Fishburne that performed that role, right?
Mm,
Yeah, well,
The
he was the
voice.
voice, and then
Yeah.
they got the guy who
mm,
did Abe Sapien from Hellboy to be the body. I think also another thing that kind of hurts it is the hair, because the hair was
mm.
it kind of looked like it was a helmet, like it kind of looked like a
Yeah,
Monopoly piece a
I don't
little
I don't
bit.
know. I like that character design. Maybe I'm the only one that felt that way, but okay.
No,
you
I don't know.
just like
I
naked
didn't like the
space chicks.
hair,
No.
and the feet the feet definition for me was like I'm good.
Wait, who are we talking
But
about?
anyway,
Hmm.
no, we're talking about Shala Bal Silver Surfer.
When
Yeah,
did you see
because
her
remember the
feet?
other one was bold.
No, when she drops in the first time, they have a panel where they show her feet like materialize on the board.
Damn. Okay. I don't
She was
even
like, I
remember that.
missed something. Damn it.
That level of
I
detail.
love
No,
feet.
no, it's just the level of detail. I'm like, Jesus, when did you see
I'm
that?
joking.
But okay.
Look, I've
Look,
been hating on this movie for a while, so I paid attention to a lot of things that I didn't like. But anyway,
I was measuring the two movies against each other, man. Like for example, when Silver Surfer meets the um other Johnny, I mean the fight they have is very different to this one. Like first of all, this one that one was a fight. This one was not a fight at all. It was just like I was like, is Johnny okay? Like there's no air
no,
there. Can you hear sound?
yeah, well, and also like it feels like they have Johnny simping for this like woman almost like
Wait,
instantly, like before he
yeah,
even. No, I'm saying
wait,
before they even meet. Already he's
mm,
looking into space, and I was just like, was she there when they became the Fantastic Four? Why is Johnny so like obsessed with space?
As if he's an
yeah,
alien
and
or
then
something.
yeah, and then we found out those voices weren't even her. Like there were
Yeah, and I'm
other
like,
people.
first off, also, why were you tracking the voices and listening to the voices and trying to figure out the voices? Why would you
No,
care?
Because they're trying to make him
I'm gonna explain
useful.
that one
They don't
later.
just want to make him a
Yeah,
bumbling idiot.
No,
yes,
but
I was gonna save that for later on.
he can be useful in the fights. He can be useful when they're doing the things. He doesn't
You
need
know, I
to.
can't believe I'm making a case for this movie because I just see how these people were thinking. It's as if I was in the room with them when
Yeah,
they were thinking of writing this
yeah,
thing.
that's the thing.
But it's
Yeah,
bad.
It's so clear of what they wanted to do
yes.
with each character, and it's opposite of exactly what we're used to.
But it's
Okay, so
bad. Okay.
I'm
Anyway.
gonna spoil one of my notes here. So basically, one of my notes was this is I call this the Stranger Things problem. For the guys who don't know, Stranger Things, a TV show that plays on Netflix. I don't know who the people that don't know this, but anyway, later in the latest, everyone seemed to have a function in the first season, but then by season 3 and 4, it started to look like they're just adding plot points to give characters something to do, and to me, it felt like they added a separate plot point that had nothing to do with the other three characters, just for Johnny. So Johnny could have something to do. You know what I mean?
No,
And
Yeah.
exactly. And
that's
I'm
what
saying
this
the thing
film.
is and the way Johnny works in the comic books, like the thing is, like he's supposed to be comedic relief. He's supposed to be levity. I mean,
Mhm.
Ben oscillates
Yeah,
because of his mental state, but in
yeah,
total, Johnny is supposed to be like he kind of like he livens up the family. He's supposed to be like the energy, the juice, if you get what I'm saying. So when
yeah.
everybody's talking that
No,
serious shit, everybody's talking that serious shit, Johnny will come in and say something stupid. And in a sense, the way that helps is that it helps like ease people's tensions so that they can refocus on whatever the mission is supposed to be. And then
yes.
on top of that, he's an impact player. And he does have ideas in the comic books, but it's kind of like that Naruto thing, you know, where it's like when he's in the heat of the moment, he has an idea and then it sparks something and
Mm,
then that helps the team. This
mm,
I must look into transmissions for from space. Why?
hmm.
But anyway,
Like, are you a
Yeah.
linguistic expert or something? Are you into linguistics? Since when? Like, what's going
Like,
on
what
here?
does this got to do with space science, with physics? What you know what I mean? I get it. You're all astronauts. What's this got to do with being physics? But it was a lot of silliness, in my opinion.
but
But we're getting ahead of
anyway,
ourselves.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. So basically, now because they're tied to the community a lot better than Superman was, not just a random newspaper, not just what's it, CNN going, this is what the people think. So what ends up happening is we end up having to meet up. The general people have to like talk to Sue, and they're like, okay, no, guys, we're gonna figure this out. Don't worry, guys. The protectors of Earth are here, and then they go up into space. Lots of CGI stuff. I did like the designs of the spaceships. I thought it was kind of cool. Um, and then we get the giant. What do you even call that thing? A tic tac? No, what do you call it? A lozenge, like a giant circular tube.
Oh,
That's
the thing
eating a
that takes
planet
the
right in front of them. Yeah,
oh oh. So wait, they've launched into space.
yeah, they've launched. Yeah,
This is where they travel. They use the FTL drive, which I'm like,
exactly.
why would you? Why would you make a separate like Reed? Why would you make a separate thing that allows you to travel at the speed of light? Why wouldn't you build that into the ship?
Mm,
Like I know you want to say it's the 60s, but you Reed Richards and your technology even for the 60s is rivaling technology of the modern day. So why wouldn't you just build it into your ship so that you can travel at the speed of light?
true. Why would you build one? Can anyone else use this? Like we should be
Yeah,
exploring space right now. There should be
I
humans
guess,
everywhere,
yeah.
like as we speak.
Well, I mean, it's that Iron Man problem, but I'm just saying, okay, fine, you built one, but why would you not build it in? Like, why would you need to fly your ship into a thing to make it go speed of light? Like that feels weird. But
It's
anyway,
because they wanted to do the 10 parts thing. Because remember, when it shoots off, it uses the space rockets to break away, and then those rockets control themselves coming down, like that SpaceX one. And you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to show off real life, in a way. But then
Yeah.
you're right, it could have just been one
There's a
thing.
rock
But
man
yeah.
and a lady who goes invisible. Why are you trying to ground this now? Anyway.
But yeah.
I think
Anyway,
that's the problem
um,
of trying to be too different. You end up either missing the point altogether or you
well, you gotta stand
catch
out.
lightning in
Yeah,
a
I get it.
bottle. One of the two.
Mm.
Well, why not try and adapt the comic books and actually make something faithful to the source material? You'll stand out a lot because no movie's done this. Anyway, sorry.
But it's so yeah, they find the planet that they see that Galactus is heading to, and yeah, they hit it as it annihilates the planet, and then yeah, Galactus tractor beams them almost immediately, and then like barcode scans their baby, and then lets them in, and then yeah, they meet Galactus.
Yeah,
Um,
so ultimately
Yeah,
the
who
plan
is
was to go
severely
to
nerfed?
Galactus instead of him coming to them because they were trying to save their world. That's why they went to him so
mhm.
that they can negotiate for
Which
anybody
is so
who is
Severely
funny,
not
like
nerfed.
from a position of what?
what?
Yeah. Hmm?
Well, for what Rob said is that what position are they negotiating from? Which, yeah, I mean,
Oh,
really, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you're going
Yeah,
to
I'm here to
appeal.
negotiate. Okay.
You're going to appeal to this creature's demands, I guess. Fine, but my thing was is like, yo, what a poor showing for the power cosmic. Youch.
What a dude is an IV sitting in a chair, not cosmic enough.
First off, why does
Six
he need a
IVs
chair?
coming out of
You just ate 5 planets. Why do you need a chair? And also, you're literally the power cosmic. You could literally birth Sue's baby right in front of them and take the baby anyway. I don't know why you like give up the baby for the. You're Galactus. You have the power cosmic. You can
Isn't that what he did?
like you're supposed to be a reality warper.
That's what he did, isn't it? I mean, that he
No,
hit the
that's not
baby
what he
once
did.
and
What
the
he
water
did is
broke.
he. Yeah, but I'm just saying, why are you talking like just take the baby then, since you have the power cosmic?
Fair enough. I mean, how did he let them? Why would I let them leave?
No,
And
and then
then yeah, they
also
get
Silver
chased.
Surfer. What's going on with the power cosmic? This power level is up and down because they are outrunning her, they are slamming into her, and I'm just like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
okay. I guess because you can't do the accurate, can't do the comic book accurate stuff because then the Fantastic Four would not go anywhere. But then I just feel like, why wouldn't
True.
Uatu step in? Like, why wouldn't some other cosmic force come and help? Okay.
mm.
And for me, I just think it's funny. Is it me or do black holes not mean much anymore? First it was Superman, then I heard it was
Oh
what's
no,
it?
they
The
no.
Peacemaker, and now apparently Fantastic Four as well. Black holes don't do what they used to do, man. You know what I mean? Like black holes aren't what they used to be.
No,
Am
Gen
I the
Z
only one who
black
thinks
holes,
that?
dude. No, because here's the other thing.
Dude,
I'm like, why was Reed's plan to fly closer to the black hole? I don't, huh?
that's not how black holes. If you can see a black hole, you're forced by
No.
a black hole.
Yes, like yeah, that would have been game over unless you had some other
You know what I
like
mean?
radion shielding or something. I don't know what.
Yeah,
Like you needed to have some special shield of some sort that was going to repel the black hole somehow. Which okay, but I'm just saying
exactly.
flying closer to the black hole to trick the Silver
Hmm.
Surfer, and also Silver Surfer power cosmic. What is a black hole doing to you? I don't understand. But anyway,
Yeah, because I've heard about that. Like, what, like 1,000 suns, something like that, half of the strength of the universe, something like that, a silver surface. Anyway, it's crazy stuff for people who've read the comics. But anyway, so they get away, they land, after, and then they come back to Earth, and then Pedro Pascal, I mean, Mr. Fantastic then has the worst press conference I have ever seen in my life. Leaves
why
everyone
did
with
he
immense
tell
confidence.
everybody? Why did he tell everybody? Why didn't nobody in the family be like X-nay on the baby A? Like, don't say this. Just tell them Galactus is evil. He's coming. We're coming up with a plan. Why
Yeah, at
say that
least,
Galactus wanted your baby? That's not their business. That's your baby. That's
or
your business.
exactly, or at least it's gonna be fine, guys. Not, oh, I've no, they want my baby, and also I don't know how to beat this thing. Like, thanks, thanks,
No, I mean,
bro.
look, the second part Reed would say, if you go to a comic book, Reed would be like, I don't know, but he'll think about it. The baby part is just like, you're just asking everybody to raid your house and offer up the
Yeah,
baby to Galactus. That's all you're doing.
exactly. They they
I
won't
Anyway,
honestly
even
not. But look, we've seen this with Doctor Strange, right? When he wanted to bargain with Dormammu, and Dormammu was not having it.
mhm,
So Strange was he had the time stone on his side, so that helped him. With the Fantastic
mhm.
Four, I honestly don't know what their leverage was because there was nothing
Yeah, oh
that,
no, nothing.
that was a serious threat towards Galactus that would make Galactus
Yeah.
reconsider eating their planet.
oh, well, that that third act is gonna show you. But here's the thing that I was saying. I'm just saying, to me, it's so stupid that you would tell
Hmm.
everybody that it's
Yeah,
my baby and
it,
we
that's
live,
true.
or
Hmm.
it's just like no, because everybody would just be like, yeah, you sacrifice the baby. It's just like, don't give them that
Yeah,
information. They don't need to know.
yeah. First of all, yeah, first because you're like the problem is real, guys. The problem is worse than you think it is. Oh, but there's a quick solution. Anyway, cheers.
Yeah, but anyway, moving on.
Anyway, yeah. Anyways, yes, moving on. So anyway, before we go into it, I just want to kind of go over this. By the way, this is the mid. This is about the 55-minute point, just before the midpoint. Um, we after the revelation of every of the baby being wanted, we finally get to see some energy in people's faces, and by that I mean CGI energy, because obviously the fight itself is majority CGI, at least before they get on the ship. But what I like about it is that everyone gets to kind of use their strengths. Um, it kind of reminds me of like a Ninja Turtles fight. You know what I mean? Ignoring the quips because it's Marvel. There's always going to be quips. Anyway, you get the best taste of the group
What do you
dynamics
mean
here,
by
in my
that?
opinion.
I'm not sure
These
what
ones are
that
bad.
is.
You know, Marvelisms.
No, the
You know what I
TMNT
mean,
reference. I
man.
don't get that
They
part.
were they were
Oh, it's in for like. Mhm.
No, where everybody gets to kick ass a little bit. Like if you're seeing a TMNT
Exactly.
fight, they'll cut to Donatello doing something, they'll cut to Leonardo,
Um,
they'll cut to Raphael, they'll cut to
exactly.
Michelangelo, and then they'll cut to a team move between the four of them or
Exact,
whatever. So
exactly, exactly.
Okay.
You see, you feeling me here? Yeah. So remember,
yeah.
it's never one on one, which is ironically why I'm gonna get angry in the final fight because eventually they all start fighting by themselves, and then it's like, okay, but what happened to the teamwork in the middle of the movie? But anyway, they kind of work together. Ben is doing this, Thingamajig is doing this, and then they kind of double team, and it's great. Um, at least, and then yeah. So anyway, um, problem. Yeah, so that's the best part of dynamics. Anyway, this the escape happens, but then the survival leaves us. The escape leaves us with a big question: what do they do now? They have lost. The heroes barely making it out with their lives, and this to me is where you really get to feel that Pedro. To I support your claim, Kutzer. Pedro is kind of a bad choice for Reed because like when they're going through discussion, they Reed and Mrs. Fantastic, Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic kind of have a fight where it's like, sometimes the way you are hurts me. And I'm like, what are we even talking about right now? The way he's what? And then like talks to his
No,
baby, like, I'm not
no, but
perfect.
here's the problem. We didn't see any of this develop. We don't know how you are.
Yes.
Before we can even get to
Yes.
Pedro Pascal, even in the writing, I don't know how you are, Reed, when there's crisis times.
I
Like,
think
I don't
Yes.
know when you are thinking of things. Like, this is what I'm saying. This can't be called first steps. It has to be called fast forward because any tension that we could have developed to see them come to some sort of happy medium in their relationship, we don't see it.
yeah, I wanted to say
Mm,
that I think these two comic book movies that we've witnessed this year that we've done a review on, They are meant for comic book readers. They're not meant for the average
Fans.
viewer.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah,
we have so much
agreed.
beef with these movies because we already have context on who
Mm,
these characters are and how they behave. But
mm-hmm.
for the casual viewer, they're probably confused, like what's going on here.
But this is what
Yeah,
I'm
because think
saying is
about
like
it.
the okay, no, go ahead, Rob. I'll go after you.
No, no, I think I'm about to say what you're about to say. Think about it. If you're a new
Oh,
viewer, because I think I'm talking from a new viewer's perspective, um, what is she talking about? You know what I mean? Like he's been the most supportive man I've seen, to the point of being a bit soft. Actually, it's like, yo,
Yeah,
man, do you mind helping out?
yeah, he's
It's
treating
like,
you with kid gloves.
so why is she so furious? What am I missing? Because she's just pissed at him, and I'm just sitting there going,
I think she's been bottling things up for too long. She's been passive about things. And
based on what
which is
Steve?
her fault, by the way. It's not his fault
Yeah,
because he didn't know there was an issue with
mm,
him. And I think that's what
yeah,
happens usually in relationships.
now
And
do you understand how that would play much better in a movie where this family is still coming together
mm,
versus it's been 4 years and they've got it all together. They're saving people in the montage.
yes, yeah,
Like this would
no,
play
and
so much better if this was like the first year of them after they got their powers and after they defeated the
yeah,
mole man. Because
mm,
that's another thing.
no, I
They
hear
do the
you.
connection between the mole man and Sue, and it's just like that's
Mhm.
sped past. And I'm like, this guy was trying to sink cities, and Sue managed to talk him down. You don't want to show any of
Mhm.
that, okay?
That might be plot relevant. No, I hear what you're trying to say. Because ironically,
but why would
Like
Sue be
what I'm
the
go
trying to
one
ahead,
say
I'm
is they
talking
sorry.
you
try to make
down,
Sue the
though? Why
diplomat of
wouldn't
the
it be
team.
Reed
Mhm.
doing that? Like,
No, but
Mm.
I'm saying no.
No, no, it doesn't. Yeah,
Here's the
go on.
problem, right? Here's the problem. The way Reed communicates, the way I'm saying, the way
Mm.
Reed communicates, it's kind of straight and direct. So he's going to grate
Mm.
on Moleman's nerves because Moleman will feel like he's being condescended to. Whereas with
Yes,
Sue,
yes.
because she's a people's person, she knows how to play into somebody's ego, play away from somebody's ego. Like that's why she's kind of the diplomat of the group, which
Yeah,
works perfectly. They've done that in
understandable.
comic books before.
Yeah.
yeah,
Problem is we didn't
With
see it.
Namor, for example, they've done that. Yeah.
Yeah, but we
yeah.
didn't see it.
We didn't
We
see
just
it. Yes,
like that's what I'm saying. If they wanted to
yes.
make Sue like relevant to the plot, her diplomatic skills are so underrated. I would have loved to see them develop that. But okay, fine.
Mhm. And the thing is, you can show it. Here's the thing, because again, plugging our own TV show, guys, African Frame. Please keep an eye out. We do one of the best movies of all time, made by one of the best directors of all time. It is called Social Network. In the opening scene of Social Network, they only have 5 minutes, but you get a layout of Zuckerberg's character because he's played off as smart, but like a dick because he's so annoying in the things he does. But in that little 5 minute conversation, they do like 20 different setups within it and finish the close offs that you feel what the person he's talking to feels. And they could have done that here, but they didn't. You're right, Buck. They
But
sped
here's the
through
thing
that
that I'm
stuff.
trying to
So now when
understand.
it's like,
That's a good example that you've brought up,
mhm,
but the difference between
yes,
social network and something like a Fantastic Four is when writers are writing thinking they're writing for kids versus the social network when Aaron Sorkin is writing for adults. You get what I'm saying? Because
I get what you're trying to say.
But
Yes.
kids are
what
not
I'm
that.
trying to
But kids
understand
are not
is
that dumb.
what I'm trying to understand is who's the demographic for this movie? Is it teenagers to
Mm,
children? Is it sorry, teenagers to
mm,
adults? Or is it for adults? Because if this was for adults, this doesn't work. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
I,
I
you have
don't
a
think it
yes.
even works
I,
for kids. I don't really think it works.
it doesn't.
it doesn't.
Like what I think is that this is a
It doesn't.
manufactured audience. This is the audience that
Mm,
on
Yeah,
Twitter somewhere. Like
yeah.
this
yes.
is the
The,
online
I,
audience that they are trying to cater to, and I'm like, this does not work. Like
this scene was
again,
written by AI, bro.
yeah, like that's why what I hate is when people tell me that I'm looking for one to one. To respect
Mm,
the source material is not to look for a one to one. It's just to
one
make
to
sure that
one,
you have the
exactly.
characters that I recognize in the comic books on screen in
Mm,
the movie. Like I'm saying, I could have rewrote this movie. I could have actually put like the Frightful Four if you want to do that, so that you can do 4-on-4 if you need to have something like that, and actually
Mm.
develop these freaking characters, because they're not developed. Everybody is a cardboard cutout of what we think the Fantastic Four is supposed to be.
I wonder whoever's watching this, they're
Mm.
probably gonna be asking, does Buckmeister ever like any movie that we review? Because
Yeah, because Buck is harsh. But I love it. I
Stop
love Buck,
making
man.
bad movies.
I
Stop
love it. It's
making
the
bad
truth, though.
comic book movies. Because you keep ruining, like, the thing is, as comic book fans, now we have to keep defending our shit. Now we have to keep explaining to everybody what
Hmm.
this is. Now we have to keep fighting misconception upon misconception. That's why comic book fans, we get so
Yeah,
frustrated with movies, because now what people leave the movies with, that's what they think it is. Now people are going to go into comic books thinking
yeah,
Johnny was always this milk toast dude who hides in the corner and deciphers language. And now we
Milkwood.
just have to, that's not
yeah,
who he is. That's not.
yeah.
Anyway.
Exactly. No, no, I hear you. It's like again. I want to mention M. Night Shyamalan's Last Airbender. Imagine that's the version you saw, and now you think, wow, all these people consider this to be the greatest cartoon of all time. This is terrible. I guess cartoons must be garbage. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
And
M.
that
Night
happens.
Shyamalan's Last Air. Yeah, yeah, that 100% happens. He's burned the entire cartoon community because of how bad the Last Airbender was, and that's just
I would say Dragon Ball Evolution. I would take it that far.
okay. Fine. I remembered you
No,
said you
no,
liked Last.
nobody. Here's the problem, right? With Dragon Ball Evolution, that was nothing. Like, that was, it had no imprint of the source material. Like, as a Dragon Ball fan, you
Mm,
can totally divorce it. M Night Shyamalan, it resembles Avatar somewhat. Like, if somebody
yeah,
had to ask you, are those the plot points of Avatar? You'd have to say yes, but he did them
I
badly.
see what you. Yes. So yeah, so like what we're talking about right now is Sue Storm's abilities right now in the movie are technically some of the ones you see in the comics, but it doesn't look like that, guys. It's, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So you have to explain to people, no,
And
like
okay, but
yes, but
let's keep
no.
going. Let's keep going, because we need to
Okay, yeah,
talk
let's
about
keep
the
going.
third act. Let's keep going though.
Yeah, we're moving fast, so we're gonna get there. I think we're gonna
Yeah,
get there this time.
we are
So yeah,
running.
anyway,
We are running faster
yes.
than the movie
Um,
itself, which is interesting.
No, because the movie's pacing is like this anyway. So anyway, like I said, the discussion feels undeserved. Him being like, my weakness is, you're like, what are you talking about? So those things feel undeserved. And then but then they all have a heart to heart and they decide, okay, we're gonna talk to the people because the people are getting mad at us. They're calling us selfish, which is funny. And I'm like, yeah, okay, guys, this is unrealistic. This would not, they'd be SWAT teams in trying to break into the Baxter building as we speak. You know what I mean? The Russians will be trying to break in, the Chinese are trying to break in, America will be trying to break into that building to be like, give them that kid. That's what the old movies did. Remember? The old movies were like,
Oh
okay, let
no,
me
but
say give you the
also
kid,
the
but the
other thing
old,
is, like, yeah, no, sorry, go ahead, Rob. I'll say
no, no,
afterwards.
no.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut your
Okay.
flow.
They would have phoned, I like the old movies, they would have said, yo, Victor Von Doom, can you help us out here with this reader guy? And of course, Victor would have taken advantage of the situation like he did in the old movies. But you know what I mean? They'd have been, this would not have happened. But I get it. It's a movie. It's a movie. We must just accept that they're doing this. This is maybe they can't afford audio people. I don't know. But yeah, you're gonna say something before I move on?
What I'm trying to say is, first off and foremost, again, like, why wouldn't anybody in the family have just said to Reed, like, when he was on the podium, just be like, mm-mm. And then, like, maybe Reed will catch the clue. But at the same time, I'm just like, so
Mhm.
Sue Storm comes out, gives a speech, and everyone is rational now.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's what I'm
that's a
saying.
real world
I'm like,
With
two
this whole
seconds
movie,
ago,
it just seems
two
like this
seconds
whole
ago, y'all were looting stores. They were fist fighting in the street. People were running up on Ben Grimm saying, "Hey, what about us? We have families too." Which I was like,
yeah.
what was
Mhm.
that line for? Who was that for?
it just seems
Because
like
I don't, I don't see a family in sight, and I just see you guys running into the distance. I don't know what you're doing. So okay.
It just
Yep.
seems like
Okay, yeah,
Sue Storm cannot do anything wrong in this movie. Whatever
oh
she
yeah.
says, whatever
When
she
she talks,
does,
people listen.
has to make sense in this entire movie. It's like that
Mm,
was the mandate, you know.
mm,
And I think that's why a lot of
yeah.
people, when they were reviewing this movie, that's all they said for the most part. The common thread
Mm,
in most reviews was that Sue Storm was the MVP of this movie. And I'm like, of course she
oh
will be,
yeah.
because you guys have made everybody else seem like they're dumb or they're dicks or they just don't care or worse
Yeah.
version of themselves or whatever. It makes perfect sense because Ben Grimm for me in
Yeah.
this movie is not even here. Like I don't even feel his presence at all. He just feels like a
Oh,
Same.
and and they ruined clobbering time. You don't ruin clobbering time. Anyway, sorry.
Actually, it's kind of funny that you say that. Well, the probably time, yes, but also the Sue Storm thing. For me, it's not even the fact that she's a diplomat and that she's right about everything. For me, it's as a younger brother with an older sister. That's not how that works. You know what I mean?
Not
There's
only
only
is
so
that
many
not how
times
that
Sue can
works,
hit you.
and say not only is that
Yeah.
not how that works. Why wouldn't anybody say, Sue, stay home and be pregnant? You're not coming to space.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys. Like, why was she even joining them in the first place? Why was she willing to go with them
Yeah,
in
like
space
Like this
if she
story
was
doesn't work with
pregnant?
Sue because again, you're on a spaceship. Like even if it's sterile, there's so many things involved in childbirth. Like they can't
yeah,
just do that. You can't just pop out a baby in the middle of zero gravity and everything is fine. Well, what? Okay, are we
yeah.
just supposed to accept that Franklin Richards decided to cosmically warp reality to make sure that he was born in a safe environment?
Clearly,
Who
And
knows,
again, if
dude?
he's
that's the
that
only thing that makes
powerful,
sense.
why can't they just point Sue Storm's stomach at Galactus and have the baby beat Galactus?
No, I mean, at the time they
Like what's it
didn't know
like in the
what Franklin
boys?
was capable of. So,
But I'm
Well, I
saying
mean,
if
yes,
Franklin
they
can
still
birth
don't.
himself in space, because that's going to be the argument here, that he warped reality to make sure his birth was fine. Because there's just no way you can have birth in zero gravity like that with zero
Hey, dog.
complications, no nurses, no
Well, you see,
midwife, no doctors,
well, you
nothing.
see, the mistake you're making is that you see Reed pushed her shoulders down, and that was enough.
All
That's
right.
that did everything.
Okay.
He pushed her shoulders down and problem solved.
Yeah. All right.
That was
Cool.
crazy. But anyway, point is, she gives a speech, and that just did it. Holy cow, people were listening. That's how the 1950s work, guys. 1970s. Anyway, so now she decided they've got he they use the cliche where someone says something and then Reed Richards like something. Oh, you got it. You know what I mean?
I'm
The
like,
classic
that
old
was
school.
not related. I was just
Yes,
like,
it is.
this is not connecting. How is okay? We're gonna move the planet, but we'll get through to this together as a family. How does that? Where's the connective tissue here in the writing? I'm like, how do you
Hey,
go
dog,
from
it's
we'll get through this as a family to I can warp the entire planet? And again, I was like, Reed, where are you warping Earth to? Are you warping the
that's a
citizens? Because I'm saying
dog. That's another thing.
if you warp the planet and it lands on another Earth, that's an incursion. One of the Earths has to
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
No, there's another place in space where the sun is the same size. The distance from the planet
And
is
it's
the same
vacant.
size,
There's no other
same
planet.
heat.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Like I'm saying,
So, 'cause
you're
that's-
either transporting the entire planet or you're doubling another planet's population, which would cause an
Mhm.
entire collapse. What are we
No,
doing?
but also my thing is,
no, they're literally
how
moving the
does that
planet.
even work with the water and all? Like maybe my feeble mind
No,
cannot
it's the whole
comprehend that
planet.
level of science.
And
But
for me,
how do you
they have to take the
move?
moon with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they have to take the moon with
you have
them.
to take the moon with
Yeah,
because
because
otherwise,
the
tidal
tidal
waves.
waves and everything, like, how does that even work?
Yeah,
What makes you
it's
so
funny.
sure
It's
that the
Buffett being
moon
too
that side
reasonable.
will actually like
Exactly.
work the
Yeah,
same
Yo,
way
Buffett is
with?
being too
guys, you're
reasonable.
going too far. Like unless
but
that
that's
planet
No, this
lands
is not
on
even too
another.
far, dog. This is
No, because
basic.
it's you
what I'm
too
trying to say
reasonable.
is, is that this Earth has to either occupy the same space of another Earth in an alternate reality, which would be
Yes,
chaos, or
yes,
the population gets doubled. Because even if he's just transporting
exactly.
the people, where are they
Yes,
going?
exactly. But that's the thing, Buck. We agree with you. That would make sense, but your argument is making too much sense. They specifically say they're moving the whole planet. They don't say they're moving the people to another reality. They say they're moving the planet to another side of the galaxy.
Which
Okay, so
doesn't
it's
make
worse because
sense.
they didn't even put the transporting things on the moon. Okay.
Exactly.
I just don't see how that's
And
gonna
then
It
work.
makes
And
no.
not even that. If this thing is gonna be moving, because it's gonna be moving at a very fast pace, right?
Oh, yeah.
Will they still be the same age? Like, how would, because obviously, I'm assuming if you're moving at that speed, I mean, this is not Star Wars science, is it? That
I'm
whole
assuming it has to be.
it has to be Star Wars science. But
It
the
has
other
to be
thing is,
Star Wars
would you?
science.
But I'm saying, would they still be on the planet? Because if you move space
It'd still be on the
and
same Earth.
like no, like Reed is not just catapulting humans into space. Because remember, the Earth is always rotating. So is he
exactly.
taking the
Yep,
rotation
So
into
exactly.
effect?
So
yeah, he's taking
It's a space and
the
it's a
velocity of
space
the
and time
rotation of
machine now. It's a space time machine.
it's a spaceship and a time machine at
yes.
the same time. It's
Yo.
So
Look,
it's got to
I
catch
get it.
the
Reed is
at the
supposed to
same
be
time
smart.
around the
I
sun.
under I understand, but this is what I'm saying. They're trying to use shorthand. This movie's trying to have its cake and eat it too. It's trying to be like Reed is smart, so he calculated all of these things. But how did he do it? What was the lead up to it? He teleported an egg. So we're supposed to go from an egg to the planet, and that connection is fine.
I think
Yeah,
who I think they should
This
have
is too
gotten
big.
for
This
this
is what I'm
movie.
saying. This is too big for a movie called First Steps. Damn it.
They should have gotten the writers of Rick and Morty for this. Take out the comedy, take out the comedy parts.
yeah,
But the way that show is written and the way it treats science, even though some of those things are ludicrous, but you feel like you need to learn something from this. Like you feel dumb when you're watching that show
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
You
The thing
Yeah,
is,
know?
but I'm
what you do
saying
it.
that okay, but anyway, what
Yeah,
I'm saying is that I feel like the reason why that works is because at least you get invested in the relationships before you can even get invested in the science. So
yeah,
when Rick is
true.
throwing science at you, you're more invested in his character. So certain science things slip past you. Here, we're
Yeah,
not invested in characters. So there's nothing that they can get away with because all we're left with literally is the logic.
yeah, that's true. And it's silly logic. Like if you think about it for 2 seconds, and they're hoping you don't. That's why the pacing is so fast because they're like, if we move fast enough, they won't think about it.
Mm.
Oof, oopsie daisy. But anyway, moving on. So anyway, they decide they all gonna work together. Well, guys, we've got a plan now. So no kidnapping my kid. So they're gonna move the planet, and they realize they need more electricity. So then they use the power of load shedding. Load shedding.
But also,
As they
like,
turn off the
what
power.
makes them think that Galactus will not even reach wherever they're going in the first place?
That's another
No,
thing that made me genuinely angry because they already said he's in the solar system. So let me get this straight. He's moved millions of miles and is here now. He's in the solar system. And now we're going to spend a month moving things. What?
no, and if their whole point was to teleport him, why didn't they build a space station with the teleporting stuff so that when he enters their orbit, he gets teleported? Why would you want him to be on Earth?
Dog, it was ridiculous. They were taking chances because they
Like
could,
I'm just
that man
saying,
could have.
this thing should have met Galactus in space. The minute his ship showed up, teleport him to the other side of the universe. Why wait for him to land on the crust?
I'll be back,
Yeah.
gents.
And also, all right, Jupiter isn't that far away because remember they say he's passing Jupiter right now. And I was like, what do you mean he's passing Jupiter right now? That means he's here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
When
what,
they
what am
said
I
he when
missing?
they said he passed Mars, was like, you should have switched to plan B already. Like, Reed, what is this? You're going to activate this thing across the world. If you can build a teleporting machine to teleport people, like, that's what I'm saying. To me, when they were doing the teleporter, I was like, just teleport Galactus. Like they do in
Exactly.
almost all of the comic and cartoons and whatever. Like Earth's
Hmm.
Mightiest Heroes, you know how they beat Galactus? They just send him to the negative zone. Why is nobody making the negative zone? I don't know why your first plan as the smartest man on Earth is I'm going to teleport everybody on planet Earth across the
Yeah.
universe.
Insane, dude. Absolutely insane. But anyway, so they decide to make these things. Let's just move on. They make these
Yeah.
things, and it works. And then, oh no, give me 1 minute. And then it works. So then they move on to actually activating the plan, only for the plan to fall apart because common sense, guys. Galactus, you know that lady that was there 20 minutes ago that can
Yeah,
move way
Silver
faster than
Surfer,
anything?
yeah.
Exactly. Turns out she's not gonna let your plan work.
No,
Turns
and
out the
then
other team.
Johnny turns into what, Batman from space, or he comes in with a contingency to defeat Silver
Yes,
Surfer by
just the
activating the
biggest
linguistic things that
contingency.
he's been translating. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then again,
Mhm.
they bite from Norrin Rad. Yo, this is such biting from Norrin Rad. Because you know what happened? Norrin Rad was on a planet, had a family, and to spare his planet, he sacrificed
Mhm.
his family life and everything and became the Silver
Yes,
Surfer. This is literally his
yes.
story bar for bar. And I said this, and people came at me and it was like, it was in the comic. Which one? Which one? Where's the panels? Show me.
I
But
think
anyway,
what would have made sense with Johnny's arc is if he had met an alien in the past, right? Who sort of
Mm,
had a relationship with him, like an ET type of thing. And he then got an inkling of the language, some of the languages there. And maybe that language is not exactly the language that he learned from that alien, but it's similar. That would have made sense.
well, in the comic books, he did have a love interest in a Skrull. Her name was Lyja. I don't remember all of the particulars of it, but if they had introduced Lyja into this, because Lyja and all of them, they all panic over Galactus. Like every planet, like panics over Galactus. So some of them have tried to learn the language and all of that stuff. So if he had relations with Lyja, and then Lyja was the one to teach him how to translate, that would have been
but
better.
remember, they couldn't do that.
Yeah, but
Remember,
they
they already
couldn't do
set up
that.
that they haven't been back to space. They set up that specifically because they're like, look, I've got a space
Exactly.
uniform, and please
Oh
let's go
yeah.
back to space.
A
Please.
friend of mine saw this. A friend of mine saw this. She hates the suits. She hates the design of all the suits. She says that, oh, could they please go back to the 2005 suits? And I
Mm,
mean, again, I'm not. These suits aren't terrible, but they're not great.
But
mm,
aren't these suits
But
kind
anyway,
of
yeah.
a bit more similar to the comics version
mm,
in a sense? Like the
no,
material.
not at all.
The
No,
material.
not at all. This nope. They didn't have stripes. They weren't striping
No, no,
because these
no.
look like jerseys.
Material, not stripes.
No, what I'm trying to say is that that material there behind you, the way it looks, that feels more like a jersey than it does a suit. Ironically, the 2005 costumes were closer to the comic books. The only thing they kind of missed was having a belt. What they did here is they wanted to 60ify the suits by kind of just giving them this like the poppy coloring. So they didn't want to go with the black because in the comic books originally it was blue and it was blue on black.
I don't think they were trying to make them
Mm,
superhero costumes. They were just trying to make them seem like
No, that's what I'm
spaceship.
saying. They were going for astronaut
future spaceships.
material, and it's not like that in the comic books.
All right.
Yeah. Um.
Anyway,
But yeah. Give me 1 second. So yeah. She comes in, annihilates all the planets in the. I'm surprised no one from the planet was like, "Hey guys, back to Plan A. Give us that baby." Um. They said they were like, "No, don't worry, guys. Hold my call for a second. We'll call you back." because that's after things fall apart. But anyway, they go through this dramatic moment tension with Johnny and this alien lady, and yeah. So she's like, "Oh no, you're right. I used to have a planet, and it looks like they still miss me. These guys. Turns out I didn't. Yeah." And then she bounces,
No,
and
and then
that's the
Johnny
sick fourth.
follows her, and then Johnny follows
Mhm.
her and makes a dumb ploy which makes no sense. I'm like, okay, so you're smart enough to translate languages, but you do understand that you're not a cosmic being. Why would your sacrifice stop the Galactus?
Yes. I was like, what was that even about? And you know what that was? It was the writer. The writer's like, I've got a plan for a setup. I've got a plan for a setup, guys. Um, don't worry about it, guys. It's covered. I know exactly what they were doing there.
And I'm like, again, also on top of that, if the Silver Surfer was just gonna help, why not just be on Earth and help? But anyway,
Oh no, because that's the setup. That little piece of dialogue that they used there, it's not your sacrifice to make. They were like, put a put on that, guys. It's coming back.
no, and also,
Don't worry,
like,
John.
yo, other Fantastic Four OP or not OP? This movie can't decide. But anyway, we'll talk about it in the third act.
Yeah. Um, Though I feel like that's a bit of a plot hole, or rather, I don't understand, because to me it feels like a plot hole, but we'll get back to that. Um, but yeah, she's like, no, it's not your sacrifice to make, put a pin on that. And anyway, she basically freaks out and runs away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm assuming Galactus is like, I'm sure she's fine. It'll be fine. And anyway,
That's funny.
um, so anyway, the movie, straight, yeah. So the big move turns out to be bullshit. Silver Surfer, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the movie is late for a meeting as the positive and negatives show up here on paper. This concept is technically brilliant, but because we are moving at the speed of light, everything kind of feels super gimmicky. Most especially when you consider the time they took to evacuate the people. Like to me, I get what they're doing. To me, it feels like they went to. Turns out people are still mad at Zack Snyder. They're still looking at that Superman fight and they're going, "We can't have the people still be here, guys. So we need to do the evacuation thing." Ironically, Superman did the exact same thing, though
Yeah.
I like this evacuation better.
But
Um,
why,
I
Rob?
think they this.
This is a
No,
Hmm?
planet.
look, I'll
This is not New
yeah,
York. How do you evacuate an entire human population throughout the planet?
Well, no,
okay.
it is
Look,
just New
Oh,
I
York.
it's
don't
a
want
New
to
York
defend
thing.
this
Yes,
movie.
it's a New York thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't want to defend this movie because again, even the usage of Galactus here is annoying me because I'm like,
Hmm.
why would he care about Franklin?
Hmm. No,
Why would
true, but I
Franklin
think.
stop him? No, because I'm saying that's not how like Galactus doesn't get to choose his successor. That's not like when you're a cosmic force, you're just a cosmic force. It's not going to be like a transfer. And now,
Mm,
what's this? Franklin has the power. That's not how that
mm,
works.
Mm.
And also,
mhm.
Galactus should be terrified of Franklin because Franklin, especially in the comic books, Franklin can kill Galactus. But anyway, the other thing that I was
Okay,
saying
but
that was,
but
yeah,
it
but
wasn't
anyway,
set up in the storyline, so
no, it was not.
no one knows that. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
anyway,
anyway, long story short,
yes,
yes, they he was coming to New York specifically, even though as soon as he landed on planet Earth, it should have been game over because it should have been like, oh, they're not giving me the baby, eat the planet.
exactly. Well, to be fair, before we get there, actually, want to before we get there, because I
Yeah.
just want to go over the evacuation. So yeah, evacuation is fundamentally different from Superman to Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the fact that they of course pay off the mole man more moment. There's a reason why
Full
that one
man.
got
That's not mole man. That's full man.
Jesus.
dialogue. Anyway, he shows up and he's got a chip on his shoulder, and I'm like, you guys did not set up why he has a chip on his shoulder, but okay. And he comes in and he beefs with Reed just for like no reason really. And I thought the funniest thing is when he says to Johnny, don't be mad at me, I didn't dress you. And I was like, oh no. I
But
was
he
like,
did
fuck.
like mole man doesn't. What the hell? Who is this guy? Why is he doing Saturday Night Live routines. He's supposed to be a dude who lives underground with gremlins. What is this?
But didn't you say it's an
It
alternative
made me
universe?
laugh out.
That's what you guys
Hey,
said.
dog, made me laugh out loud.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah,
is
yeah,
a.
yeah, 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 yeah. I said it's an alternative 60s. They don't have to change a mole man and make him a metropolitan dude because it's contradictory. He's supposed to be
Yeah.
living in Subterra, but he is clean. He's got jokes. He's got modern day references. He can roast. You're supposed to be somebody who was living underground. Like that was your whole problem, is that the surface was dissing the underground. That was your whole thing. But okay.
But they
Hey,
also
dog,
don't sound, they
they've
also don't
changed.
sound like they're from the 60s, these people. They don't sound 60s, if that makes sense.
Well, especially Mo Man.
I'm not
Mo
saying
Man
that they should
speaks
speak
modern.
Shakespearean English or anything of that sort,
No,
but
they should
there's a
speak that
certain,
transatlantic accent.
yeah, man, there's
You
certain
guys know the
slang,
transatlantic.
Yeah,
there's
when
certain
is
ways to speak.
nobody ever says it's groovy, baby, or what's this? Love
The
and
Brooklyn
peace.
Dodgers, yeah? That's the one I want to hear. The Brooklyn Dodgers. Ah,
Yeah,
there. This is Koto and Buckmaster.
there we go.
I love that voice. You know that accent? That's what I wanted to hear from
The voice
someone,
that they use
but we never got it.
in all the media, yeah. I know the voice you're talking
Yeah,
about.
Yeah,
I love that voice.
they have just stormed the bridge and all of that stuff. I mean, that's more
Yeah,
1930s, but point being
yeah,
is like they sound super modern for the 60s. But I'm
yeah.
just saying, Mole Man to me is the biggest offense because I'm like he does not look like a mole man at all. There's
Oh no,
nothing
he's got a suit
moldy
and
about
tie.
you.
They could have given him a buck tooth. I agree with
No,
that. They could
they
have
also
given
gave
him.
him rings like he was a pimp. I'm like, who's designing this guy? Like
Oh
he
my
had a
god.
ring that like it looked like he said, "Kiss the ring, bitch." I'm like, why do you have rings?
In that year, a man with a ring probably wouldn't have made as much sense.
Probably found them
But I don't know,
underground or something.
No, but
1970s.
all I'm saying is like now they're making me feel like Subterra Underground is him, and there's just hot women on stripper poles, and he walks in like, "Yeah, come through, baby." I'm like, why are you dressed like this? Anyway,
Okay, no, fair enough, fair enough. I get it. It's the small things, bro. That's what we're here for. The small things. But no, I feel you. But anyway, they get that done, and then they've got a new plan now. And the new
yes,
plan is for Galactus to walk in a giant red triangle and hope he doesn't notice. But anyway, that before that starts, that they set up the plan. We see people coming into the underground, and that sets off our final act. We are now 1 hour and 20 minutes in, and now they fight. So cool. Yeah, 30 minutes. Yeah. Now, obviously, we're gonna go over the details, but like, I think overall, again, I mentioned how in the earlier fight there was a lot of synchronicity, teamwork. Johnny, go do this. You know what I mean? There's none of that. Ben kind of does his own thing and then literally gets tossed into space, which was hilarious.
I feel like
I was like, did
this
Galactus
is
just
the
throw a
first time we
rocket?
actually say anything significant about Ben.
no, but here's my
Character,
problem with
bro.
Ben throughout this movie. Right? They
Mhm.
they skip his arc. Like they try to play with it. Like there's a scene, we didn't talk about it, but I mean it's not a big deal. But there's a scene, right, where there's this lady that he's talking to. He's killing it. Like
Yes.
she is into him, which okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then like he goes to go see her again, and in the middle of the dark, and then he's looking at him at a picture of himself, and then he looks at himself, and now he's horrified at what he is, and then he sees her in the
Mm.
distance, and he just walks off. And I'm like, you
Yeah.
can't do that. Hey, movie, you
Yeah.
can't do that. Ben is
Yeah. That's true.
fine. He was killing it. Why is he scared to talk to her now? This doesn't make any friggin' sense. So what
It
I'm saying
doesn't.
is
And
Ben doesn't feel like a character because
yeah,
it's gone. Any
he's
development you
gone.
wanted with Ben is gone.
He's basically Yoda at best. He's ironically he's what the thing that magical Negro at best. That's what he is
Yeah,
in
mystical,
this
magical
movie.
rock man. All he does is come in, and when people are feeling unsure of themselves, you got this, buddy. That's my
Yeah,
scene. Peace out.
that's basically you. That's literally it. And also I know in the movie the OG the earlier movies the lady was blind. But isn't she blind in the cartoons as well? I
I
remember
think this
that.
is a different
Alicia
I
character.
think
is
she's blind.
blind everywhere. Alicia is supposed to. I don't think that's Alicia. That's somebody else.
I don't think that's
But
a
Alicia
Oh,
is. She looks like Alicia from the comic books because Alicia in the comic books, I think, was a redhead or she was orange or something, but she had color in her
okay.
hair. But
Yes.
yes, initially she is. And just quick rundown on her. Her father was a villain called the Puppet Master, and she tries to
Ooh.
stop her father. He's called the Puppet Master. He basically makes sculptures of people and then he can control them through the sculptures, I
yeah,
think.
like voodoo
But
basically.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and then that's
Why
why
would you call that
she's
guy voodoo?
yeah, but
That's cool, man.
that's why she's so good at making sculptures herself, even though she's blind. Like she can make sculptures, and people are like, "Oh my god, how do you do that?" Even though you can't see. But yeah, long story
God
short, and
damn.
then yeah,
Oh,
and then
well, that's great.
her dad like falls out of a window because she tries to stop him from being evil, and then
No, shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
because he's a villain for the Fantastic
her
Four.
name is Rachel. It's not
Yeah. She looks like Alicia Master. Is it Alicia Masters? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know, but it's not. Yeah,
Her
Oh, but
first
that
name
was
is it.
interesting.
Her first name is Alicia, but yeah, she looks like Alicia, but it's not Alicia. But anyway,
Yeah. Okay. No. No. Okay. No. No. That's interesting, man. Um, I did not know that. But the point is that they've definitely shut down Ben. It's not his movie. It's
and they
nothing.
gave him a beard. Why? What is this
Because they had
beard?
to give him something to do. Stranger
yeah. They had
Things,
to give him
probably, bro.
something to
I'm telling
do,
you.
Oh, is okay. Give him something to shave that he
like
can't shave.
baby
By the
proofing
way,
seeds. Give him baby
he,
proofing seeds. Just give him something. Give him.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
give,
By the way,
give
he
him
never
something.
grows
Yeah.
a beard for like 1,000 years. Like it takes forever for him to look like that. It doesn't just happen in a couple months. But okay.
I, okay. I did not know that his beard growing was like geological. Okay. No, that's cool. But anyway, that's Ben for you. Anyway, like I said, it's a messy fight. It's all over the place. It's not terrible. Um, but again, I like the fact that they're not all quippy all over. You know what I mean? They're not quippy. It's serious now. Um, some of it, of course, looks pretty dumb. Like again, tossing him into space. Like holy cow! Like I'm pretty sure that man
Also,
burned up or something.
Johnny, fly. Why are you waiting for him to leave the atmosphere? Catch him.
Yes. Man is literally freezing. And then obviously the trap happens where they do the old switcheroo, and then Galactus is like, "Yeah,
Why
no,
did they
what am I,
but they switched so early? Why
yeah,
did you switch so early? Like you did not need to switch then.
yeah, literally,
Like
Johnny.
because
I'm pretty
remember,
sure
Johnny, because remember, this is the other thing. I don't know what fire Johnny is powered by, but his cosmic must be high if he's able to
Mhm,
blind Galactus for a few seconds.
mhm, yeah.
This is the other
It
thing.
is.
That's the
This
thing that never
Galactus
made
is
sense to me
nerfed.
about
Oh
Johnny.
my god.
Like, there's a scene where I think he's rescuing a child or something from something, and in my head I'm like,
Oh
isn't
yes,
this
yes.
isn't this child supposed to be ablaze? Like, how does your fire
I
work?
think
No,
I think he
he
switches
can
his hands off.
he can do that. He can do that in the comic books. He can half light himself on fire
No,
and
but
half
still,
keep
how does
himself.
that work? Because even
Yeah.
if even if she's not burnt to as crisp by the flames, he's still hot. How does that work?
His
Hey,
lower
dog.
bodies, his lower extremities, dog. It's power cosmic. This one
Ah,
you got to chalk up to comic book nature. But
Nah,
here's the because otherwise Reed and also all of his lab equipment should have been on fire when he put himself on
yeah.
fire in the lab.
But
Um,
still,
exactly.
but um, but still, I think it's something that for me it feels on and off. Like there's times where Silver Surfer hands out the smoke to all of them single handedly, and the next second, you know, Sue hits them with the old "fuck it, I'm strong enough for this," and then hands out the smoke. And funny enough, that's what
yeah,
happens later on, where Sue
yeah, we
decides,
got to
"Fuck it."
we gotta get to it. But I'm just saying already, how is Johnny affecting Galactus with anything? And I'm like,
Ah,
okay,
fair enough.
fine. If this is the version of Galactus that we're going with, if this is the version, if Johnny can do that, why not hold off on Franklin being the bait until Johnny blinds the thingy Galactus so that he can step into the trap? Like, why the
Fully, man.
switcheroo now?
Look,
Because
dude,
remember,
even
Reed
with
can get
negotiations and everything, I'm like, why is Johnny the one negotiating? Like, take me instead. I'm like, what's happening here? Like, who is this guy? Like,
no, like again, they're trying to do Johnny X because oh my god, I know that people who like this movie they left here thinking Johnny X Silver Surfer or some nonsense like that.
Stepping, yeah.
So that's what was supposed to be about, is that Johnny was appealing to Shala Bowles, the being you can't say humanity. Well, whatever was in there, Johnny was reaching that somehow.
Her loins, but yes, that is 100% true. That is what's happening there. But anyway, the trap clearly doesn't work. Man's like, oh, look at this giant triangle. I see what
I'm
you
not
did
gonna
there.
step
Nice
on it.
try. And then they basically they blow Mr. Reed's back out by stretching it.
Jesus.
And then
No, first off,
what the
Reed.
hell?
No, I'm saying first off, Reed. I'm saying first off, Reed manages to turn dials in Galactus's body, and I'm like, what? Are you bleeding lava? Is that what? Huh? So you're a
is that
physical,
Galactus?
like
Yeah,
you're a
like, what the
physical
hell is
being
up? Is that
somebody
earwax?
that can.
What's going on here?
Yeah, that somebody can stab now, and that works somehow. Okay.
Yes. I was like,
Also,
what is happening?
Galactus, where is your power cosmic? I'm not understanding, because why do you have to walk to the baby when you can levitate to the baby? Why couldn't you just pull the baby out of the building?
I don't know about you guys,
Yeah, that
but
is true.
when I feel a fly on my body, the first inkling is to just kill it. When I feel something disturbing me, the first instinct is to just kill it immediately. But no, Galactus is just letting Reed do whatever he
And
likes.
also, why are they making Galactus so sadistic? He's not sadistic. Galactus is just matter of fact.
Say he has no emotions. Yeah, that's true.
But
They
now
say
he's stretching Reed. I'm saying now he's stretching Reed out and enjoying it. No pause.
No pause.
Resume. I feel you, man.
Jesus.
Play.
That's what it was. Reed was getting stretched out, and Galactus was like, "You like that, don't you?"
Exactly. And then the most impact Ben has is being thrown from space again into his cheek. And then that's the best he does.
I was like, guys, how did you ruin its first off and foremost, that delivery was horrible. How did you not do a second take, a third take, a fourth take? You like the other thing is Ben has been so soft spoken through this entire movie. And I'm like, this guy is a Yancey Street tough that used to mug people for money with a carrot. What are we talking about here? Why would he be this soft spoken?
Because
and like that's the other thing.
They don't want him to sound like Michael Chiklis.
But that's the character. That's not the fault of that's the role. That's who this character is.
100%.
And then say it, Ben. This is the time to joke. Now's the time to joke.
Yeah, you're about to. Your family's about to be destroyed.
Yeah, planet is about to be gone. I'm just saying. And also, just where's the bass in your voice? Who's supposed to be afraid of that clobbering time? Who?
Yeah,
it's clobbering time. He sounded like a nerd that was like about to fight the bully for the first time, and his voice just broke.
Sounded like McLovin. Yeah.
It's clobbering time. Who are you, bro?
Painful. Yeah, genuinely painful.
Oh my god! Yo, you're killing me, bro.
And after all their plans fail, I think it's now Buck's moment where Sue decides, you know what,
goes
guys?
Super Saiyan. She goes Super. What is this? Hold on. Power Cosmic. Guys. Power Cosmic. This is the person that made the Silver Surfer. By the way, Sue is OP in this movie. I get that she's the strongest member of the Fantastic Four. No one is disputing that. Mara Power Cosmic, guys. She can push the Silver Surfer and stop the Silver Surfer.
Like smacked it off the board.
And mind you, it's on and off, because sometimes she'll pull the Silver Surfer and the Silver Surfer will be like, tech. And then all of a sudden, her power is over 9,000. Now
it was 9 million.
Now she's pushing Galactus, Planet Eater, Sue Storm into the.
And not just a shove. It was a scrum.
Galactus was trying to hold on to buildings.
She stole Tien's flow, bro.
Yo, even Tien makes more sense. I don't know whose flow this is, because she could never do this. Power
that was
Cosmic.
Yeah, right. Full Tien. Just.
Guys, how? I don't care that she died temporarily. How? Just for
and people don't give me that. Yeah. Don't give me that she died.
I'm done. Mara, I'm just saying, you can't just do that to Galactus. This is a planet-eating entity. You can't just hoya an invisible Kamehameha and he falls over his feet, and that's it. Like, because Galactus didn't even do anything. Galactus didn't even do anything to try and, like, he didn't laser her. He didn't, like, blast her with nothing. He just tripped over his own feet, like, oh.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. And also, another thing that kind of drove me crazy, besides the fact that I was like, oh, okay, I guess she can just do that now. It was also, is it me or, again, credit to Jet, not to be like Jessica Alba's one was the best ever, but at least I got to see a nosebleed. Because you got to see an element of the struggle.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Jessica Alba's character, you saw a nosebleed, you'd be like, oh, okay, she's pushing her past her thing. Instead, we get Pedro Pascal going, you're pushing past your powers. Make her eyes red.
But I guess
what is it number 11, right? From Stranger Things. I've mentioned Stranger Things like 10 times.
I haven't watched
But 11, doesn't she also have a nosebleed?
Yeah, she also gets a nosebleed.
But I want to say that
that's like
also this read, like, why is this stretching so limited? It feels like it's the weakest version of any read.
No, I'm just saying also, like, the thing is, when Galactus had to pull him physically, I was like, Reed, turn into a ball. Stretch around his fingers. You can do that, by the way. Why?
No one's
like, dog, this is not One Piece. You're not about to Gomu Gomu no. You don't have those limitations. You can literally take any shape that you want.
Because it felt like he felt like he was about to break apart. I'm like, no, why?
And also, I'm just like, the other thing is, dog, your plan, that was it? Like, Reed, don't you have like 50 of these plans or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, again, it was stupid for you to let Galactus get on Earth. I don't care what anybody says to me. That's dumb. Like, if you can travel at the speed of light in space, you should be able to create a teleporter in space. I don't know why you just didn't make a teleporter in space that could have teleported him. Like,
that is a bit of a plot hole.
Like, I don't understand. And then I'm saying, on top of that, like, you had no other plan besides he must step on this green square.
And also,
like, why don't you? I'm just saying, yeah, tiny. Also, set up one at the Baxter Building. In the event he goes towards the Baxter Building, like, do more. Like, this plan of we were going to transport everybody off of Earth or transport the entire Earth, it was dumb. Like, why not just take all of those resources and dedicate them to teleporting the man or the monster? Anyway.
Yeah. But so I do think that kind of lacked a lot of there was a lot of writing tools. It almost felt like this guy stopped writing for the final fight. Like, I think he was like, okay, I'm here for the initial acting stuff, but the final fight is finally, that's where we're kind of out of it. But anyway, Sue Storm pushes him into the portal. And then they're like, yay, but then Johnny sees that there's still 10 seconds left, but then turns out,
Johnny is weirdly suicidal in this. He's weirdly like, I'm ready to die anytime.
Yeah, doesn't even struggle with it really.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait, when were you this self-sacrificial? Like, this took years to develop.
That's what I was saying.
Okay, fine. I can
make
maybe
sense for me that he's the one that would be willing to sacrifice himself like that. Didn't make sense to me at all.
No, but I'm saying, okay, even if we, but I'm saying, but even if we want to go with this logic, right? None of them could be able to actually physically do this. If Johnny flew into Galactus, he should just die. It does not make any sense that he. Yeah, it does not make any sense that he would hurl himself physically as an object, because I'm like, that's not in your power set. Like, you'd bounce off Galactus, best case scenario.
100%.
Because the other thing is, he doesn't do anything in the movie that tells me he can knock a Galactus over.
No, fully. I mean, literally, remember he uses most of his power on the cables at the back, and that still doesn't even do that much. But now he can. So it's an uneven system of power there, agreed. But luckily we never have to see that disaster happen, because the Silver Surfer just comes in and basically just annihilates him with the board and just like smacks him away. And then the one person who actually could do something ends up doing something. And then self-sacrifices herself. But then I'm like, but isn't she fast enough to technically take Galactus back if she wanted to? That felt like, I don't know.
I mean, they transported him across the universe, but I'm just like, this guy was already traveling light years already. And also, she didn't die. Like, they didn't kill him.
Exactly.
He's still out
she's clearly faster than him, isn't she? She's
which not. I mean, again, not that. Anyway, power cosmic Galactus, if he wants to travel light years, he can just warp himself. But I'm just saying, to me, this was weird that that's the sacrificial play, because it wasn't a sacrifice; it was a teleportation machine. Like,
true.
I mean, not to praise Rise of the Silver Surfer, the 2007 one, that much, because again, it was a stupid dust cloud, and this, I guess, is marginally better. Galactus in terms of his design, it looks better than a dust cloud. But in that one, what the Silver Surfer does is that he explodes all of his cosmic energy to try and combat the cosmic energy of Galactus and try and take in a suicide kamikaze attack, so that it's destroyed. Yeah. They didn't do that here.
A Chaosu attack.
Yeah.
I feel you. No, that makes perfect sense.
No. Let's not say Chaozu. Let's get Vegeta, because I mean this one is at least kind of effective.
Okay, fair enough. Vegeta. But yeah, so that works. The portal closes. So now it's gonna take Galactus a million years to get back there and be like, revenge. So and then they all come back up top, like really quickly. Because again, like you guys said, it's fast forward world. So like in a split second, they're back up. And and then I think that's kind of the movie.
No, Sue dies.
Huh?
Look, this is gonna seem if you think about it, there's two concepts that we've mentioned. Well, I'm gonna mention the second one now, but you can tell that they just took bits and pieces from previous movies to make this one. The Dormammu thing that I spoke about earlier, where they try to confront the villain by going to the villain, who's not even going to listen to you because he's more powerful than you. And then two, the end of Avengers. If you remember, after Tony lets go of the missile.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes, with the Hulk yells, yes.
Yes, this is what happened here, but the difference is Franklin is the one that's trying to revive.
No, also, the other thing is, like, why were you trying to play up the tension? Who did not see this coming? Yes. As soon as Sue was dead on the ground, I was just like, Galactus been screaming how Franklin is a cosmic baby. Yes. And if you know comic books or whatever. But I was just like, why are we doing this? Just cosmic baby, just do what you're going to do. And then the cosmic baby does it. And I'm like, you took forever to do something we predicted as soon as Sue died.
Well, they were trying to make it seem like this kid is not really doing it because what was that? Like we didn't see anything.
Okay, see now that's the thing I wanted to get at because number one is I honestly think have you guys even watched season 2 of The Walking Dead?
No, I didn't. No.
Yo, I didn't.
Ah, damn, it's fantastic. So anyway, there's a scene where the main character Rick has a son, and the son gets shot. Um, that one, that is a performance and a half. One of the greatest performances I've ever seen of like seeing someone who thinks they've lost a loved one. And for me, Pedro was not doing it that well. Like I've seen him act better than this. Number one, that was my
Dude,
issue. And number
it seems
two,
like he wanted her
the
to die anyway. Like,
yeah, yeah, he did. And then putting the baby, it looked awkward where like he put the baby on her, but it's like clearly he doesn't know what he wants to happen here. That's number one. And it didn't feel like it was on purpose. You know what I mean? Like at first I was like, is he trying to say that the baby's
no,
saying goodbye
no,
to the
no.
mother?
That was not on purpose.
It
That was not
didn't
on
feel like,
purpose. No,
yeah,
he didn't know
Oh,
what he was
also,
doing. He
I'm
was
just
just
saying
putting the
this is
baby there.
no, but this is what I'm saying. The reason why this scene loses its teeth, in a sense, I mean, Pedro was fine for me. I didn't think it was like a particularly bad performance, but I didn't feel anything either. I was like, this is serviceable, okay, but
totally
I
serviceable. It's a death scene.
yeah,
That's horrible.
sure, but but what I'm trying to say is that what I'm trying to say is that the reason why for me the tension didn't hit at all because I was like, first off, it's Sue Storm. They're not going to kill her off in the first movie, whatever. Second of
Yeah.
all, I was just like, they've been screaming about this cosmic baby. So I was like, to me,
Mm,
I thought the baby was just going to cosmic baby float in the air, revive its
yeah.
mom, and then land in Reed's hand, and then we just move on.
Yeah, true. Because like Kutso said, the Avengers moment, less than 60 seconds. I'm sure if you go back to it, it's less than 60 seconds.
No, it was so
Between
quick, and it was just like, yeah, we
yeah,
know you're not killing Tony Stark here. Stop playing.
ex- exactly. Even the Vin Diesel fast, was it Fast 7 with the
Yeah.
airplane? Even that was quicker than this.
Mhm.
This felt extended for no reason. It was yeah. It's funny because I like this movie, but I feel like we're attacking it a lot. But anyway,
No,
I
I
agree
Dude,
with
don't
you.
you're
like it because
realizing this
I
now?
feel
Like the whole time. That's what we're
uh,
doing.
no, it's just I see executive stink all over this movie. From the
Yes.
casting to the writing to the and I'm like,
Yes.
as a movie, it's fine. But how many fine movies are we supposed to get? Especially fine movies that keep warping the perception of these characters. Like
No,
Hollywood
100%.
keeps they keep coasting. They keep stop trying to innovate. Well, not even innovate. They keep trying to put their own flair on something that they didn't
Yeah.
need it in the first place.
Yeah. None of these are passion projects anymore.
I don't
None of them are
know.
passion
I also
projects.
feel like
And
Pedro Pascal's portrayal of Reed, I don't know if I should blame
mhm.
the director or if I should blame
No, it's the director's fault.
It's
Remember
Pedro's,
the
Will
direct
Smith?
maybe Pedro's fatigued
Remember,
or I don't know.
no,
But it just,
you think his
he's
paycheck
miss
is fatigued?
I would go from casting from casting agent to director because the way he's
Yeah.
directed in this is not like Reed. And I mean, as an actor, again, he's a good actor, but I'm just saying he miscast. Also, on top
Yeah.
of that, the writing is not writing for Reed. It is writing for they're writing for a Reed that sometimes occurs, if you get what I'm saying. Like the
Yeah.
thing is, Pedro's demeanor here, this is something Reed has to work at. It's not something
Mm,
he naturally does. Naturally,
yeah.
he's the guy in the corner. Naturally, he's the guy holding the wall. He's a wallflower. He's not the guy where like he's calling all of the shots and Sue go here, Sue go left, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff comes out of him when it's necessary for the situation. But in
Mm,
regular situations, like when like Reed teaching classes, I don't know why they would. I don't know why Reed would do that. Why would Reed
that didn't make sense
spend
to me
time
at
teaching
all.
children? Because Reed would spend more time trying to discover things and build things and all of these
yeah.
things. Like he's that guy where he'll perform for the investors, but then once he's done with that, he goes to his room.
Yes.
That's why him and that's why him and Sue butt heads so
Mm,
much because she's like, you have to be a person also. You have to be my
yeah.
husband. You have to be a dad. You can't just be a scientist.
Yeah. 100%.
So it's all around. Everybody has some blame, but Pedro Pascal is like 10%.
Yeah. I mean, he's the one we see at the end of the day. Everyone else is behind the scenes, but sadly, he's gonna get the blame.
Thoughts on
Um,
the
but yeah.
post-credit scene?
Oh yeah,
I
okay, yeah,
hate
yeah.
it. I hate it so much. That's the reveal for Doom. That's the reveal for Doom.
Yep. We didn't even get to see his face. That pissed
Dude,
me
it,
off.
it makes no sense why. First of all, it
Creeping
makes
on
no
a
sense.
child.
It makes no sense why he went there. It makes no sense
Mm-hmm.
why he broke into that room. Like, why didn't you just knock?
Yeah, yeah. And also years later, the kid's
No,
old
that's
now,
like
so
that's the other thing. There's no mention of Victor anywhere. Why would
yeah,
we? What's the connection here?
none. It's
What's
random.
what's the and
And how
also
bad how
why
bad is
isn't
the security at the Baxter building that Doom can just break in like that?
no people break into that thing in the comic books every it's
No, no,
like the
that's fine. In
expansion.
the comic books, it's okay, but you need it to make sense here because
No, but what
Yeah,
I'm trying to say is like when did Doom like he
yeah.
just got access, and also I'm just saying Sue Storm sees Doom and pauses.
Mhm.
Sue Storm
Yeah.
sees the arch nemesis of their entire family near her child, broken like a criminal, and she's just like. Sue Storm from the comics would have thrown Victor out a window.
100%. I hear
Like
what you're
she was so
saying.
prepared. She was so prepared to kill Shalabal in the space vortex, where she was just like, "Johnny, they're trying to take your nephew. Shoot this bitch."
Oh yeah, that was funny. That was actually that was a funny moment.
but
I
but
did enjoy that.
Doom, but Doom, she's going to pause and she's going to have like. Also, they don't even interact.
Mm.
So what's the point?
that was just
It
a
felt
post
tacked on.
cameo, man.
It
It was
felt
a
like
post. It was
reshoots.
a
It felt like a
post
reshoot.
credit scene. It
Yeah,
was so unnecessary.
of course. 2026 Doomsday. Get excited. That's what it was for,
Ah,
man.
okay.
That's what it was
Which
for.
again, that's another thing that's a problem with this movie. So basically, they're going to scrap this universe. So everything they did to save all these people of this earth doesn't matter anymore.
Including Galactus.
That is. Oh my gosh, you're probably right with that. I hope not, but we'll see. This movie was scrappable anyway, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like it wasn't designed to last forever. No one was supposed to think about this movie 20 years from now.
I enjoyed.
It's
I
like the
still. I
Avatar
still
movies.
maintain that I enjoyed Captain America 4 more than I enjoyed this one. So,
Four.
Sam Wilson, Captain America.
but
Okay,
yeah,
I still have
Uh,
to watch that. I still have to subject myself to that movie. I don't really want to, but I guess we'll have to do it for. Did you say cinema crossover instead of cinema? I mean, crisis. Did
no,
you say
Cinema
crisis?
Soda, isn't
No,
it?
I'm talking about. Never mind.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyway,
no, the name of
yeah.
the show is.
So
Didn't I say Crisis Event?
no, you said crossover event. I was shook.
Oh, sorry, Crisis Event. That's the name of the show. Sorry.
Okay,
But I
crisis
think this
event.
is the
Okay,
running
cool.
joke of our shows anyway. We usually mess it up the first time and then the next time it becomes.
Fair.
Yeah, but anyway, I really don't know how to score this movie. It's just as a comic book fan, I'm so sick of Hollywood saying that they know better than the source material, that they don't even consult the source material. And when every successful franchise in Hollywood, or not everyone, I'm sure there's some exception, but most of them, from your Harry Potters to even if you go to your Game of Thrones before they went left, and they went left because there was no source material, like even to Lord of the Rings, geez, like even your Hunger Games or whatever, like they were pulling from the books. So I don't know why it's a thing with comic books where we do what we want and it's fine.
Respect.
And it's just and how dare you call this the first steps when everybody is practically at the end of their character arcs? Ben doesn't quit
Mm.
one time in this entire movie. And that's like 50% of his character arc. Is like, you turned me
Mm,
into a rock monster, and I told you we shouldn't have gone to space. I'm leaving.
But
mm.
also, what is the whole point with him and his possible love interest if she's not gonna join them and leave with them too? Like, what is the point?
Like, just
Because she's
Should
clearly
have
not
been
gonna leave
Alicia. Should have
Doomsday.
been Alicia. Should have been
it was a
Alicia.
checklist. It wasn't an arc. It was a checklist. They
Mhm.
needed him to be looked at by someone. It was very weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look, I don't think this is better than even the first Tim Story movie. And
Hmm.
No, that one I think is still the strongest, funny enough.
Yeah. Credit where credit is due, man. So
yeah, and but
yes,
I'm saying that's not Tim Story's directing that saved that. That's the actors
yeah,
and the actors' chemistry. That's the only
yes.
thing that's really kind of saving those movies.
The
And I
thing is,
think with these movies,
those
what's
actors
happening
took
right
themselves
now,
seriously. So,
Oh
if
yeah.
that makes sense, they took their roles very
But also,
seriously.
what a cast! Jessica Alba, Michael Chiklis,
Yeah, Ian
Balthazar.
Crawford.
I forgot his name now. Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to the legend. Yeah, it was a surprisingly amazing cast. This was not. I mean, I like the bear as much as the next guy, but what was that? Uh,
no, I
yes.
don't know what happened with his delivery, but they made him so milk toast. But anyway, yo, closing thoughts for me. This is gonna be my last thing on this. One, I'm surprised we did a whole movie in one session. So hey, good job, guys.
Because it's just the three of us.
Two, yeah, two. This one I think is a yo. How do I even? I'll say this is a 6.5. Like it's a serviceable movie, but
Mm,
yeah,
mm.
in my heart, it's a 4.5. But objectively speaking, as a movie, it's the
When we
6.5.
do seven
I
up, it'll be a
guess.
4.5. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I get. No, I'm saying like as a objectively as a movie, it's well shot,
Yeah.
it's well lit. The action
Mm,
scenes
yes.
are okay. The motivations of the characters are understandable, and even with the plot holes in the tension, some of it is not manufactured. So I guess
Yeah.
points for that. But as a person who's actually read Fantastic Four material, it is just yuck. But anyway.
Mm. Kuto, you want to go next?
I honestly don't know what to say, guys. I have mixed feelings about this movie. I don't like it, but I like some parts of it,
Mm.
if that makes sense. Like, I think
Yes.
I told you this before, Rob, that the main reason I like the first Iron Man movie is because I like Tony Stark in the lab. That's the only thing that made me enjoy that movie. So even here, I just like Reed in the lab
Hmm.
building shit. Even though he took like a year to build a suit or something, whatever that Jody wanted. But um, those are the parts that I like. I like parts like that where you see Reed
Okay.
being Reed and not, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Mm.
But
No, it
I
does.
disagree with you guys about the design of Shalabal. I like it. Looks like a drawing. It looks like a beautiful
That's
drawing.
terrible. Yes.
No, well, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like how I saw Emma Stone as Cruella. She looked like a drawing. It's like, for me, she looks like a work of art. That's how to explain it to you. Maybe not
Okay.
realistic, fine, but I like the design. Um,
Mm.
I like this Johnny Storm, but I just feel like this is not Johnny. This is another character, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like it's Johnny. It just feels like it's a
Yeah, that's
fifth,
why it's a bad Johnny. This is
feels
not
like a
Johnny
fifth
at all.
member. It feels like a fifth member of the Fantastic Four, who can
Yes. Yes,
understand
it does.
languages and has
Who's
leadership.
afraid of women?
It's,
Who needs
it's
his sister to
obsessive.
wingman for him?
Yeah, and it's
What?
obsessive. I don't know Johnny as being scientifically obsessive like this. I've never seen that, even in the
No, like
cartoons.
there's a comic book, right? There's a comic like this. It's called Season One or whatever. It's supposed to be a retelling of like the first time the Fantastic Four get together and all of that stuff. Like Johnny gets on a call because he's taken his photographer, who's a hot woman. He's taken her to the top of what's the Lady of Liberty or whatever, and he's flirting with her
Yeah,
or
Statue
whatever.
of
And
Liberty.
they're yeah, Statue of Liberty, and they're about to have sex on top of the Statue of Liberty because that's how wild Johnny is. So in the middle of the call, Sue Storm calls him and she's like, which one are you again? The Viola. I can't keep track of all of them. Anyway, Johnny,
Ouch.
stop playing around. We need you back at base. And he's like, sister, you're kind of killing the vibe for me here. And
Mhm.
the photographer is like, no, I kind of know who you are anyway. I just wanted to smash. And he was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. But like, long story short, like Johnny runs through women like people run through tissue paper. That's supposed to be his
Mhm.
arc until he settles down and learns the importance of family, because he realizes that everybody around him is getting married, and he's like, what am I doing with myself? Which is why
Mm.
with his love interests, one of them was the Inhumans Crystal. He tries to marry her and it doesn't work out. But the point being, this Johnny, I don't know who this is.
Mm. Ah, fair enough.
Anyway,
And
Anyway,
but the
Kutsu,
thing is
back to your
also,
turn.
so
okay,
so
anyway, last thing I just wanted to say, but then the movie contradicts itself and gives him a pin-up board where he's shirtless with his ass sticking out and it gets set on fire when he flies into the sky. So I'm like, what? Okay.
Anyway, Kutsu, finish your turn, bro.
sure. I see what they were trying to do with Ben, but it feels like it's a scene that was taken from the original draft and not exactly I mean with him carrying the car and everything and pretending like he's about to throw it to the kids. It just feels like
Mm.
that was the original script. That was not part of this approved script. Um, I just feel like Sue was too much for me. Like the thing about perfect characters is they're not memorable. Um,
Mm.
there was nothing memorable about her character from in my opinion. Um,
I would have rather they had an argument about her being pregnant and going into space. That would have been something.
Oh, yeah.
the only thing
That would
that
have
made
been
her
interesting,
stand
but there
out
was
for
no
me was
time.
that speech that she made, where she
Mm.
had to stand her ground and say, "I'm not gonna give my baby away, but I'm not gonna give my baby up, but I'm also gonna try and save us," which is fine. But I don't know. I'll give it a 6 from my side.
6. All right.
Okay, I'm dropping my score.
Hey, man, we're not playing cinema sodas right now. You don't have to change your score to match the other
Oh
numbers.
no, here's the thing. I didn't want to be a dick, but now I'm realizing that maybe I'm not. So yeah, 5.9. Okay, here we go.
All right. Okay, cool. So, so you clear?
Did you just give it a 5.9?
5.9 is what he gave it, yeah.
Okay.
Um, cool. So is it my turn or you got some more?
No, no, it's your
No,
turn.
I'm done. Sorry.
All right, cool. Mine won't be that heavy. Actually, it might be actually because mine. There's something I realized about this script overall is now, as far as I know, none of you guys have tried to write a book, but I'm sure you guys have all read like maybe fantasy novels and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
You've all,
Yeah.
have you read any modern fantasies, like anything that's come out in the last 10 years? There's
No,
actually,
not really. I think the last thing I read was geez, what was it called? Was it called Aragon? Not Aragon. Geez, it was one of those fantasy novels where, oh no, I think Storm, I think it was Alex Rider or something like that. I think that's the last like
okay,
proper book I sat down and read. The
all
Alex Rider
right,
series.
that's cool. Just to remind you, you have a copy of my stuff. No, I'm joking. But yes, but my point is,
Oh,
with
right,
fun,
right, right. Okay, if you're
yeah,
talking
I'm
about
joking,
that, that
bro. But Kutsa, what about you?
Fantasy and
Is this?
stuff, no. I'm I'm
Ah,
I'm reading shit like this.
let me guess,
So
motivational stuff, right? How to make $1 million in 20 minutes.
okay.
yeah, stuff like that.
Ah,
To make
yeah, I
it
figured
in
as much.
20 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm reading shit like
Step
that.
one.
Be rich already. But
Why
no,
aren't
I'm
you rich, you
joking.
idiot? Yeah, I'm reading stuff.
But the reason I'm mentioning that is because I realized something. what this thing is doing, because I've read this one science fiction, Red Rising, the stuff that's blowing up in TikTok and stuff like that. I've read some modern science fiction, I've read modern fantasy, and they've got this style that they've been doing where plans kind of fall apart halfway through, and they kind of have to like muddle through plan B to like try and make it through. And it's kind of the new thing they've been doing with books. Like, for example, Lord of the Rings, you know what I mean? Like, everyone doesn't start dying and then you win. No, do you know what I mean? With these more modern books, I realized something. This movie is doing that. That's why this movie is in such a hurry, because it thinks it's a 2,000 page, it thinks it's a 1,000 page novel or 500 page novel, and it spaces it out exactly. But now the thing is, it doesn't have time to space out the scenes. So what ends up happening, it's giving us a bunch of short scenes that make the whole book feel quick. So for example, the whole them under pressure by everyone, you know, you're being selfish. That's a whole section of a book normally. The section with the speech where they convince everyone to join in, that's a section, that's like 100 pages, that's 50 pages of a book. That's 3 chapters.
I hear what you're saying.
These are book stuff.
I hear what you're saying.
But they've decided to squeeze, because remember, books and movies are fundamentally different. That's why a lot of books will sometimes be turned into a TV series instead of a novel. These things that we're seeing, these bits and pieces, this should be an 8-episode TV series.
Or give it Lord of the Rings runtime or something.
Exactly. But because number one, the stuff is not that deep, so we'll probably get bored. So they were like, no, let's just do it quick. And because they did it so quick, all these big set pieces end up feeling small. And this movie that has so much movement, so much pacing to it, ends up feeling small and quick, and it's a disaster. And I feel like that's where they failed. There are great elements to this. Again, use of color, use of CGI. I think CGI was actually kind of great. Use of props. When they use real props, the props are pretty great looking. Lots of good parts. We always talk about sometimes how the pieces are better than the whole product. And I think that's what's happened here. Actually, no, the whole product and the pieces have kind of got weaknesses here. But I do enjoy the pieces more than the whole product. So I'll say that. And for that, I'm gonna be the most generous person here and give it a 7, because I do think it's objectively better than Superman. I think even though it made literally it was 521, it was 521.9 versus 615, so it lost that battle. But I do think it was the better movie, and I think the money went to the wrong person here. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I think they tried to do too much and achieved way too little, but the pieces were just so good that I was actually kind of happy in the end. So yeah, that's me, if that made any sense.
Before we shut it down, I just have a question for you guys. How did you guys feel the first time you saw Snoke in Star Wars? The very first time you saw him.
I kind of felt positive. I had good vibes.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was like, oh, okay.
I was like, okay, where are we going with this? I was like,
yeah, it's like new Palpatine.
Like, what did you feel when you saw him?
Nah, nothing spectacular or grand. I was just like, oh, okay, good. Palpatine.
I felt positive about him. I felt good vibes.
What did you feel about Galactus when you saw him?
Not the same.
I'm the wrong person to ask because
not the same.
I'm the wrong one.
That was deliberate. That was deliberate because with Snoke you felt something. You know what I mean? With Galactus, I didn't feel anything. And
I thought he was tiny. I thought he was too tiny. I thought like this is Galactus. Like Galactus is not supposed to be a kaiju.
Yeah. Agreed. I can't believe this is the same one from the Fantastic Four TV show, the cartoon. I'm like, what? Whether it's the new cartoon, the newer one, the 2000s one versus the 90s one, both cartoons. The one Galactus is this.
You know it's bad when Marvel is struggling to make anyone more menacing than Thanos. You know it's bad.
Yeah. That man just had a wife beater, and that was enough to convince us.
Anyway,
they lost it, bro. They lost it.
Anyway,
let's shut it down,
I think.
Guys,
anyway,
thank you so much for checking us out. This is the first episode of the crossover event. as I've mentioned before, this is basically when more than two heads come together to discuss a movie, whether it's new or what have you. But for the most part, it's going to be something that is fairly new. Anyway, from myself, Rob Sibeko, Buckmeister Cool, we shall see you guys on the next one. Cheers.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. Cheers.